ladies, gentlemen, friends, foes, lurkers, regulars, GMO people, organic people.
Boiler room, inbound. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, friends and foes, lurkers and regulars, thank you for rejoining us here at Alternate Current Radio. This is Boiler Room, broadcasting live out of Central Texas. It is August the 2nd, 2025, and we're very happy that you joined us tonight. See people piling into the mosh pit here. What is up? I see some friends over there in the YouTube chat and in the Discord. So it's Saturday night. Of course, normally we're here Thursday nights, but we elected to move it to Saturday this week because, frankly, it's been a bit of a circus, and I think most of us have been a little bit disinterested in what the mass media and the mass social media has been shoveling our way in the last few days. I don't know. Maybe it's just news cycle fatigue, but we've been focusing on other things. But we can't completely miss out on all the wacky circus shenanigans going on around us, right? Especially in the mass media. Let's see, a couple points of order here as we jump into the show. First off, it's our buddy Shredder's birthday. So happy birthday, Shredder. Hope you're having a great birthday out there. And speaking of birthdays, it's our birthday too. It's ACR's birthday. It is 11 years. That's right. As of about 3 hours from now, at least in Central Time Zone, ACR, Alternate Current Radio, will turn 11 years old. How about that? So, Boiler Room just had its 10th anniversary in April, and now it's ACR's birthday. So, thanks to all of you that have been with us for this amazing ride over a decade now. And to anyone who's come in midstream or recently, thanks for joining us. It's great to have you in the Social Rejects Club here. However, the thing that used to make us a social reject club is now like totally normal, I guess, right? It's normal to be skeptical. It's normal to entertain, to research, to confirm or unconfirm conspiracy theories. It's I hope it's normal now for people to understand that the sludge that the mass media cartel attempts to beer bong into your third eye 24/7 is laden with propaganda, laden with psyops, laden with culture war, all this kind of crap that has degraded our society, made it a society of decrepitude. All right. But yeah, all those things that we used to talk about at dinner tables and family gatherings back in the day, right? We used to talk about 9/11. We used to talk about the Federal Reserve. We used to talk about the Uniparty. We used to talk about Big Pharma. And all that stuff would get you shut down. All that stuff would get you socially rejected. Well, now it's just normal. It's like it's so normal that we now have a black pill culture. We have a culture of people that are just so black pilled that nothing is real anymore, and if it is, it doesn't matter because there's nothing we're going to be able to do about it. So and I get it, I totally get it, but at any rate, 11 years here, Alternate Current Radio. Thank you for watching and listening. Of course, when we started, I think the first 8-9 years we did this, it was all audio. We were a radio station. So yes, happy birthday, ACR. Look at that. Boom. Some guy named Ruckus says, happy birthday. That goes out to Shredder too. Happy birthday, Shredder. All right, let's get into it here. Let's start inviting some people into the show. We got Bayes Lit Analyzer joining us tonight. Welcome to the the clown game of clowns. I'm calling this episode Game of Clowns, man. It's like we just the
Honk,
clowns
honk.
have to one up each other just constantly out here. So how you doing, man? Great to see
Yeah, pretty. You too, man. Pretty good. Shouts out to the honkler out there. Honk, honk.
you.
Yeah, in 11 years, it was just 9 years, just 2 years ago. So it was 9 years, and now it's 11 years. It reminds me of that tragedy. Yeah, congratulations, man. You guys have been around for a long time, and hope everybody's doing well. I'm sitting here. I was watching the worst movie. I've seen the worst movie ever made like 3 times over now. It's a new movie, and it's in the last 3 weeks. Josh Hartnett's Fight or Flight. And this is, you guys, I know you guys want to talk about AI later, and this is kind of a perfect example of this, that this sort of, you just mentioned decrepitude, by the way, which is a great word in a William Butler Yeats poem. Bodily decrepitude is wisdom, he says, and after long silence, the decrepitude, the creeping death of AI. Not that it's all bad. I mean, not that this stuff is all bad. There are certainly useful things about AI. I'll tell real quick. I'll say this: we were coming back from Michigan, and when we got through Pennsylvania, when we were going through Pennsylvania, the car just lurched and it like wouldn't go. It just like died on the highway. And I made it off the highway, and we pulled into a gas station. And what did I do? I got on GPT and said, "What's wrong with the car?" I put in the make, model number, and it gave me the answer. It said, it had hit limp mode. When the car overheats or when it's low on oil or whatever, it kind of freaks out. It won't go over 45 miles an hour. It told me where to go, gave me a place to go, went in, got it fixed in about 20 minutes for $20, and then got back on the highway and drove another 5 hours. So there, it has its uses. But especially I think when you see how this stuff is filtered, how AI is filtered through anything in the arts, to me is a perfect example of how this sort of, the rot of the thing and how it's not working. So I hope to talk about that a little bit later, and also maybe mention that I put together my list of the top 50 movies of the 21st century. I put it up on my community tab on YouTube. There is a list going around of the top 100 movies of the 21st century put out by New York Times, and I disagreed with the list in a pretty substantial way. So go and check out my list and see what you guys think out there.
All right, cool. So get on over there, the Bayes Lit Analyzer channel, and go to the community tab to check that out. Check out an actual film and literature analyst list, because that's a great idea. It's a good list, but I'm not surprised. Was it New York Times, you said?
Yeah, it was New York Times. And they, when it comes to the arts, thank you. When it comes to the arts, and Peter Travers at Rolling Stone and New York Times, they can have good films on lists like that. A bunch of them you would agree with, like Children of Men is up there. That's a great film. I put that at number 3. Their number 1 movie of the 21st century, a little spoiler, was the movie Parasite, which won Best Picture in 2019. But that's not on my list, for any of these. My number 1 for the 21st century is Based Mel's Passion of the Christ. It's not on any lists. And it's amazing that a movie that's so substantial and so sort of transformative, especially in the time at which it came out, is not on any of those. So, so check them out.
All right.
Ruckus makes a good point. It's probably made by GPT.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hey, GPT helped me fix the receiver in the living room the other day. He's like, I was having an issue, an audio splitting issue, and it was like, how the hell do I get over this? And it was like, that's the GPT. And I mean, I was set up with, and I'm very familiar with this, mind you, like audio chain routing can do. I'm your man. I can do that. This rig that makes up ACR right now is so lean and mean.
Well, it learned from you.
Yeah,
which is the funny thing. Yeah.
All those hours, like I know how long it would take me to figure that out just using like raw, Google searches and whatnot, and going to, Crutchfield and Sweetwater and all these places and looking at products and I got it, no problem. But it would have
Yeah.
taken me a minimum of 2 hours, and I had it sorted in 20 minutes or less
Yeah.
for $25, dude.
Nice. Nice.
You know, and the easy answer was go get a new modern receiver. That's
Right.
$600, you know.
But that's the problem that, Google used to be great for that, but now if you look up that, it'll give you like, you'll be like, what's wrong with the audio routing? And it'll give you options for like where to buy an audio router on Walmart or something. It just picks the one word. So.
Right. It's just like advertise. Whereas
Right.
the GPT will be like, well, here's your 3 options. Here's the budget option. Here's the limitation there. Here, here's the easy modernizing option where you can grow. It's great, man. So a lot of good things come from it. And a lot of things are going to change. We're going to talk about that tonight. Let's bring Mystical Pharaoh aboard. Mystical Pharaoh, we shall not surrender in the subtitle tonight for you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I just want to tell Baze that this is why you need to integrate GPT into your car so that you don't have to look it up. And you give it your credit card and it should just drive the car automatically there. And
Yeah, Mystical Pharaoh, when are they going to put all the cars in self-driving like in a universal hub? So there's no more. The stoplight is the stupidest invention. It was supposed to make things easier, an ease of passage, and then now it did exactly what the name says, and it just stops you on a lonely road. When are they going to make it so that it's like Wall-E, and we're a bunch of fat people on Thomas Cruise hover rounds, and we could just go without a stoplight?
well, they are accelerating. You remember, because we should be in like driving flying cars now. So I mean, Uber Fly is coming soon.
Nice.
And they have man-sized drones now. Like you can drone man sit in a drone like quadcopter sort of thing. Like that's coming. That's out there getting worked on right now.
I want
time.
the Ewok land speeder though.
Yeah, can we get that instead?
Yes.
I want the tubes in Futurama. That the tube that you get in. And
yeah.
Like pneumatic tube. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tube. I want that.
Yeah, we deserve better options than just flying quadcopters, guys. I mean, geez. All right. Well,
probably all of them will be just sitting in their pods up in the sky, and will be just riding our bikes and scooters here on Earth. So.
Right. Yeah. If we're lucky, it'll probably be more like Ready Player One. We'll just be like sitting in like empty containers with our VR rigs on, pretending we're doing something real.
No, probably will be the real people down here. But you're just dying from famine. But we'll
right.
We'll figure it out.
Dying in the robot factory.
Yeah.
All right. Let's bring Ruckus aboard. Ruckus, what's up, man? Amateur stuntman with us tonight. How you doing? Looks like you're in the newsroom. Let me balance this out here. So we've got, there we go. Now the newsroom's looking good.
It's clown world again. Clown news world. Faking news, breaking news. Absolutely the same crap. Like, what year is this, right? Wow. You guys are being far too optimistic about the Futurama technology. It's probably, if we're lucky, that was going to be the suicide booths. Remember that, where he thought it was the phone booth and he went inside, and that's how he met Bender, I think, in the first episode. And then we have the suicide pods now that look like the fancy pods from Idiocracy and Matrix and all that stuff.
No, it'll be like that American Dad episode where he's lying down. He thinks he's in like rolling around in a meadow, with ethereal beings, but he's really on a dirty mattress with a crack pipe.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Some bad drug trip is the AI is what the AI slop. The AI. Okay, man. True story. So I did ask just recently. A couple weeks ago, I asked AI to assist me in making a music mixtape that's related to skateboards and punk music, and it totally failed at it. Now, that's not the image that I'm going with. I made a much better list, but the AI sucked at picking a list, and it sucked at making a graphic. This is the one I eventually came up with. But I was so happy that I made this cool new skateboard mix. I decided to take my skateboard out recently, and here's actual footage of me on my skateboard the other day. It did not end well. It turns out I am not Tony Hawk. But yeah, so I got a little banged up this week on my skateboard. I have some road rash to prove it. There you go. See, yeah, but
that
had
feels
some
great.
fun.
It looks like it was from East
Huh?
Germany, man.
Yeah, well, I did some oi type punk, some anarcho punk, lots of skate punk, some street punk. It's not just exclusively skateboard music, but it is exclusively punk. That is for darn sure. And I don't think there's any necessarily pop punk. There might be a single Green Day song on there, but I don't think that counts as pop punk. Maybe, I don't know.
As long as I don't hear no Rancid, I'm good.
You know what?
You got a problem with Rancid?
I think I left Rancid off of this one, but there is a cool track from the Transplants. There's a lot of good stuff. It's like a super mega mix. So yeah,
they're skating in the Rancid.
Premiere that tonight, I think, after Boiler Room, right?
Yeah.
They're skating in that song "Nihilism," that Rancid song from 1994.
Right.
I never liked Rancid very much.
Yeah, wasn't really a fan of the pop punk era myself. I was busy doing
flogging
things.
Molly made the news recently, I think, for making some sort of controversial statement. Probably, I know what they did. During one of their concerts, they played footage of Donald Trump hanging out with Epstein in the background on stage.
Oh boy, this is just going to be the meme gift that keeps on giving, isn't it? Well,
Trump has great memes.
Yeah.
Never mind. There's this other thing going on with jeans. Never mind.
I still have the South Park episode, the new one about him sleeping with Satan.
Yeah, dude. Yep. That's kind of what I was referring to when I was talking about the Social Reject Club in the beginning of the show there. Like South Park is always sort of the bookend on the Overton window, and Cartman wanted to unalive himself because he was no longer special, because he wasn't the only person that would say gay and retarded and question Israel. He's like, I have nothing to live for. Everyone's doing it. What am I?
It would be.
Everybody's hating on the Kyles now, not just him.
They said they got Sydney Sweeney because her initials are SS, and it would be funny if she came out with a public statement and was like, I do think that National Socialism is pretty lit or whatever. Leaned into it.
Oh my god, yeah, this whole thing has been kind of funny. So let me see, do I have this right, you guys? Like, there's still like blue hair woke people out there apparently, and they were upset because a white girl with blue eyes and blonde hair did a commercial about jeans and said something about I've got good jeans or blue jeans or something like that, and that made people mad.
Yeah. It short-circuited people. Yeah.
Triggered people, which is insane, really.
to everybody.
It seems it's a lot of, they went out of their way to make it like obvious, like they're trying too hard to make it a dog whistle thing.
I don't know. It's hard for everybody that's so upset about it. Think about the rest of us who have been given like the 600-pound person posing for Calvin Klein, and the like alien looking people posing for other things, like the people with the gray makeup on and all the splotches and the bulimia and stuff. Like, we have just been bombarded for the last 15 fucking years with imagery, politicized imagery that is attached to volatile identity politics, totally aimed at destroying something like we just saw with Sydney Sweeney, or whatever her name is, like specifically aimed at destroying that. And then, like, as soon as there's a resurgence of it, there's this little whimper from the purple-haired weirdos who it's just like, who fucking cares?
I've got a great reaction to the Sydney Sweeney thing if you look in the chat right there, which kind of encapsulates the whole thing if you get time to pull that up.
This is just the norm. Like, till like early 2000, this was the norm. Actually, most commercials was like this. So this is nothing new.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like remember the Jaguar ad campaign a few years ago, and
Yes.
it totally tanked. It absolutely, totally wrecked them. So
Yeah, like
this is the counter swing to that, I guess.
All right, I got that one here. Boom. Let me put it on screen. Unmute and refresh. Refresh and unmute.
I just threw all of my jeans away because jeans are racist. And if I see anybody on the street wearing jeans, I'm going to point at them and say, "You're a eugenicist. You're a eugenicist. You're a eugenicist." Because when there were cowboys, the black ones were not allowed to wear jeans. They had to wear cotton shorts while they were riding horses. Jeans are racist. I even had to throw my jean dress away that I just bought because it's blue. Had it been black, I would have kept it, but it was blue. So I threw it away too. And it was expensive. It was really nice, but I threw it away because I will not be seen in jeans ever again in life. I bet you back in the 1800s, the only people who wore jeans were eugenicists. And if I ever wear jeans again, somebody just beat me down. Now, I will wear my black jeans. I kept all of those because they're black. But I will never be seen in blue jeans again. And if I see anybody in blue jeans, I already know. They're eugenicists and they work in laboratories or at Planned Parenthood.
what laboratories?
So I do have a pair of white jeans that I might hold on to because just to write protest stuff on and wear in public.
It's funny because I was actually going to ask about white jeans. So she doesn't think that white jeans are racist. Blue
It's a
jeans.
joke. It's a parody.
It's gotta be. I love that lady.
Oh my gosh. Did you see the chick in yellow?
Tiffany Wong, right?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Check this one out.
Handed down from my parents before me and their parents before them. My jeans are yellow.
Tiffany Fong has yellow jeans.
Did you see Alex? Did you see Alex's ad campaign?
No, what was it?
It was pretty funny. It was like they stole the campaign from me. That had to be Owen Troyer or somebody put that up.
I thought he did something with frogs and they have gay genes.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So yeah, this is where we're at this week. I guess that was one of the big events in the media. Izzy, what's up? Izzy in the chat says this really is idiocracy. Yeah, we have other yes, tards. Yeah. Okay. Have you
I
guys
not the one that think that SS is overrated.
wait, what?
Okay.
Talking about Hugo Boss.
No, Sydney Sweeney. I think she's overrated.
I don't even know what she's famous for, honestly. I have no idea.
Knockers.
Euphoria. She was in Euphoria.
Her knockers are the most famous thing about her. But other than that, I think she's overrated. Anyway.
Well, I don't mind it because I mean she's a beautiful woman, I mean I think she's the blonde bombshell archetype for Gen Z or whatever. It was recently it was like ScarJo, and then they tried that with Jennifer Lawrence, and now it's Sydney Sweeney, who isn't like really in movies. I guess I mean she's in movies, but
I actually do think that Jennifer Lawrence is hotter than her. But anyway, we don't want to get into that.
How dare you objectify women, Mystical Pharaoh? My goodness.
Yeah.
She's going to join the Trump administration in some way, shape, or form. Watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, I'm looking at her television and filmography now. I have seen a number of these things that she's been in. It's just like you were saying though, Bates. She kind of serves as like an archetype, and I never really like got hip to her name. I don't think, unless I watched like a season of a show that she was in and I saw it in the credits. But you know,
she's a beautiful actress. I mean, at least she's that. She's not, you know.
She's the token blonde chick.
Yeah.
But
it's like if you guys, you know, it's funny seeing. I mean, I saw Marilyn Monroe pop up, and I was watching some movie recently, and Marilyn Monroe was in it, and it's like it really is striking. I mean, she's so famous, you sort of forget that she was a movie star. Why? Like most people haven't seen a Marilyn Monroe movie, but you watch her in a movie, and you're like, this is real. This is crazy that the person. That sort of stuff blows me away because there are people that I imagine. And Sydney Sweeney's not one of these people, but like if you came across certain people in life, you would never forget seeing them. Like Marilyn, if you saw Bob Marley on the street somewhere, I mean, he doesn't look like anyone else. You know, if you saw Elvis, if Elvis pulled you over and gave you a traffic ticket, which is what he did on his motorcycle in Memphis, he would go out with his badge. He would escape from Graceland in his full cop uniform and give people traffic tickets and then just give them an autograph.
Yeah, that'd be memorable. Absolutely. Now who do we got that can do that? Steven Seagal for a while. That didn't quite carry the same gravitas, though, did it?
Louisiana law.
I guess it's Moscow law now, though. Huh?
Yeah.
He wears muumuus around Moscow and stuff like that.
Dr. Phil hanging out with Border Patrol.
Oh,
that's a good point. That's true.
Yeah. Well, what's this stuff that happened about Trump got mad at? Do I have this one right?
Before we move from that, I just want to talk about the DI piece, because I don't think that the whole DI's movement is dead. I think there is rebranding for it. Even if you look at the settlements he's doing with the Colombia, there are some like pieces flying out there right now that a lot of it is now they are establishing it, and they have like requirements, specific requirements for who to hire for DI offices, and it is directed more toward Jewish and anti-Semitism. So it is rebranding for whatever the hell they want to do it right now. So it's the infrastructure that they built for the DI did not go away. They just, they are deploying it towards different groups. So we just have to be aware of that, because I think a lot of people are, happy with some of the, lifting of some of the things that we've seen, right, toward like other minorities. But I think that administration is pushing that toward different directions, right? That is dangerous to freedom of speech. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, and they've within that rebranding and that like the narrative of like it's dead, it's been crushed. Like they're making it attractive to conservatives and moderates and normies, like, you know what I mean? Like everything has like a neon sheen to it where it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But when it comes right down to it, it's like, wait a minute, this is a lot like the other thing, but just flip to the other side with different names and
that's a sneaky part of what's happening right now is they are almost like going around it to get those people that were on the resistance to buy into a lot of that narrative without them really knowing what it is or aware for what's actually happening. Maybe that's a better way to put it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully, I can't. I will say this about American Eagle, though. That was the company that she did the commercial for, the advertisement, and their comment was kind of funny. To whom it may concern, we sincerely apologize for featuring Sydney Sweeney in our recent advertisement. In hindsight, we understand the combined impact of her blue eyes, blonde hair, and general hotness. Also, we did not realize how big her boobs would be. Our marketing team has been sent to denim sensitivity training. Thank you for your feedback. Please stop emailing us.
That's real. That's real.
I am not exactly sure, but I like to think it's real.
If it's real, it should be epic.
Someone did a good job with it if it's not. All right. Well, enough of that. Unless any of you guys want to continue down that road. What happened with these nuclear submarines? Trump got pissed at Putin because something he said online and sent nuclear subs. Am I hearing this right, or am I falling for left-wing mainstream clown media talking points? What's happening here? Does anyone know?
I didn't even get pissed at Putin. So freaking Lindsey Graham was having like a shout. He was like blabbering his mouth against Russia. Not just Lindsey Graham, like Newt Gingrich and a bunch of other people, you know, like running their mouth against Russia and crushing Russia and so on. And I guess Lindsey Graham got in a shouting match with Medvedev, the previous Russian president. And then I guess Lindsey Graham ran to Trump and I told him that guy pissed me off. And Trump got into the whole shouting match, and he basically posted a tweet. So Trump posted a tweet about India and Russia, right, where he wanted to sanction India and bully them not to do a trade with Russia, which is ridiculous, right? It's never going to happen. And they wanted them to go and buy some liquid gas from us because it's much cheaper than the Russian gas, right? And, and so so it's that's how it started, with shouting match with Medvedev.
Was it Medvedev?
Medvedev.
Yeah.
I always Medvedev. And so Medvedev referenced a dead man switch, the defensive Russian switch.
Yeah.
And that's what got Trump triggered. And
Yeah, they said something about activating activating an MKUltra code or something with a dead man switch.
Yeah, it was really funny actually, and he put even a smiley face at the very end of it, like Medvedev, right? And then Trump, you should read his Truth his Truth Social post, because the way Trump ended the Truth Social post saying that word have weight and they have consequence. I'm like,
which
really?
is hilarious. Yeah, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I know.
That's so funny. Trump of all people. I mean, look, he can say, we can say whatever you want, but it seems like when you wish Ghislaine Maxwell well, that would have consequences. Or when you call people haters and losers for wanting you to stick to your word about releasing stuff, it seems like that would have consequences. But just totally unaware.
You sound like one of those former supporters.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Past
I don't even want them anymore. Haters and losers. What are you talking about? This guy that I was hanging out with every day. He was my best friend. Some said he was a good guy. There's floods.
Oh man. Geopolitics unfolding before our eyes on social media. Isn't that fantastic, you guys? Like troll fights, basically world leader troll fights online, and presidents claiming to, quote, order 2 nuclear subs to be repositioned.
It's like you get that, and then you get the Ayatollah's X account, which is, he had that post about, I'm not your usual movie enjoyer. I like things that are a little more high class. He was talking about his favorite movies. What a world.
Oh man,
it's really clown world. I think it's really insane. The time we're living in right now, it's just that we became a joke of a nation, to be honest. It's just so sad, really. There is that's a sitting U.S. president starting a fight with not a Russian sitting president, right? And he's ordering nuclear submarines to move based on that. It's just not serious. This is just Silly.
You compare that to Putin's comments about France. I don't know if that was recent, but saying that words have consequences. Where he said, if France wants a war, they can have one. That's no problem. You know, there. It's just this is just more of the sort of postmodern malaise where once you are not we're not meant to read everyone's inner thoughts all the time. And not that it should be censored, but I'm saying we're not meant to read everyone's thoughts all the time. It's just information data overload all the time. And it really has filtered down into the lowest common denominator in every sense. And it just degrades everything. Everything is so degraded. I like that. I like that girl's channel about the war on beauty. If you guys have seen that, this is the kind of aesthetic terrorism that we've talked about for a long time. And there's a really good channel called The War on Beauty where she talks about how this stuff is filtered down into everything. I mean, turn on your television, even the labels for the various streaming channels are gray. I've talked about this so much. Just the gray box is everywhere. Everything is totally degraded into nothingness. And the studies show that even color is going away. I mean, color and any sort of normal usage of the vibrancy of life is going away. And technology is great for a lot of things, and we can access things, but when it starts to degrade our sense of what makes us human beings and words don't have meaning anymore, it's pretty disconcerting. It just turns into, like you said, clown world. So
yeah, man. Let's see here. I've some comments from the president. Patrick Henningsen reposted. Let's see what the Donald had to say here.
That say to you that made you really mad?
Well, you just have to read what he said. He was talking about nuclear. When you talk about nuclear, we have to be prepared, and we're totally prepared.
That say to you that made you really mad?
Well, you just
okay, just good old fashioned nuclear weapon, nuclear fallout, saber rattling. Okay, cool, noted.
This is also like the atmosphere right before this was Trump was digging up into the past about the Russiagate stuff, right? The Russia files, and we're going after Obama. That's the big one. There we go. I knew there was something. The Obama thing. So I guess Obama is going to be. He has to speak under oath or testify or something, and he has some sort of immunity thing going on, but now as a private citizen, he has to tell the truth, because if he doesn't, then he's going to lose the immunity on the other thing, some weird thing, and it's all related to that whole the evil lefty Democrats made up the whole the Russia hoax. That's
Crossfire Hurricane, right?
Thank you. Yeah. What was the prosecutor? What was the guy's name who put together the report? God damn.
Was that Mueller?
Was it? Yeah, I think so. And then there was the other guy, right? Who was involved with 9/11 back in the day. I forgot.
That's Mueller. Yeah. Mueller was both of those.
Oh, that's the one that was 9/11. And then you have the Horowitz did that one after.
But we're dragging that we're going back in the past and referencing all that again. It came out like it seemed like a bit of a new distraction against the Epstein stuff. Like it was totally random, because there was no closure on that. And then they're like, well, hey, guess what? We're going after Obama and Hillary Clinton over the Russia hoax thing. Finally, people are going to go to prison. No, nobody's going to prison. It's wild. Hey, we have somebody who joined us who I can't read his name.
Yeah, we've got our friend Mr. Bull. Hello, Fulla Bull. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm an associate of Mark Anderson. Don't take the name literally, though. I'm not really full of bull, but I've been known to dish a little bull out every now and then.
Good to see you, man. How you doing?
Good to be seen. Doing okay. You guys are special. I'm away in Houston, away out of the valley of Texas. I wasn't going to do anything news-wise, but for you guys, I'll make an exception.
Right on, man. We're glad you could join us tonight. We were just talking about Donald Trump allegedly sending nuclear submarines to a different area because he was mad about some internet posts from former Russian President Medvedev, and how ridiculous the concept of like world leaders and ex-world leaders acting like internet trolls and then threatening to send their nuclear submarines and do nuclear saber rattling, man.
Yes, because that's what you do, right? You see something online and you automatically make some geopolitical move that could threaten the entire world, all in a day's work for a modern politician.
Just, presidenting.
Yeah, I'm doing some presidenting. That's what I'll do. That's what presidents do, the process of presidenting. Right.
Yeah.
I'm the decider. I know what they say about Donnie Rumsfeld. I know what they say. I make the decisions, but I'm the decider. We're presidenting.
Yes, it is a mixture of George the Dimmer. Remember George the Dimmer, whose entire day was, Dad, why are you calling me again? Dad. But yeah, I mean, of course we can't. How much of this is saber rattling? How much of it is talk? Will the Navy really move the subs? You can't just call the Navy and go, hey, do you have some subs over here? It's not like they're going to tell you. So some of this you got to take a little tongue in cheek in terms of the veracity of it. But yeah, it's just, it's worse than children playing a Pokemon or something. It's completely infantile.
Yeah.
Trump's mad because Putin has a Charizard.
Well, we actually have a Submariner in our listener group, and what he said is that how do we know they weren't in position already?
Right.
Of course they were. These aren't the kind of assets you just. I mean, it's laughable to think these are the kind of assets that you just get mad about a tweet or a social media post and then move. It doesn't really work that way. If anything, it's the tail wagging the dog. Good call, Timmer.
No, they deliver them on demand via drones. So little Amazon drops them off. They ordered them off of Temu.
It just gets clearer every day. Yeah, Amazon's involved,
Man, gold toilets, gold bathtubs, Mar-a-Lago, drone delivered nuclear submarines for your troll friends on the internet. Man, life must be good when you're wearing the golden underpants.
Yeah, it's nice work if you can get it.
Oh, and there was a tsunami too. Another Russian thing happened all at the same time.
Oh, that was nuts, dude. How big was that thing? It was like over 8, wasn't it?
It was huge.
It was 88, 8.8. Yeah.
8.8.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, but the tsunami waves were not big. It actually did not hit. No damage happened with it, which is good.
But they were worried in Japan and Hawaii, all over the place, right?
Yeah. Yep. All the way to Alaska.
I'm almost surprised it wasn't a huge catastrophe. Everything weather-wise lately seems to be a huge catastrophe.
The downplayedness of it makes me suspicious.
Interesting. Same with that latest.
I saw a post something about the Commander Islands. I never followed up on it, but if anyone out there knows or heard something about the Commander Islands, I guess there was some sort of dispute in Trump and U.S. and pressure on Russia involving these islands, and lo and behold, these islands took the brunt of the force of this tsunami right there. Apparently, I don't know. I didn't follow the thread.
That sounds deliciously conspiratorious. I love it.
What are the Commander Islands? That exists.
I don't know.
Another uncharted piece of land, probably. Is all the land out there even on the map? You got to wonder, right? Maybe Gilligan's Island really was some lost island that no one knew about.
Yeah, really.
I'm halfway.
Remember that Japanese guy that survived? He was like in Hiroshima when it went off, and he survived, and he was so pissed off at America, and he moved to the most remote place he could, which was the Bikini Atoll, and then they did a nuclear test there. He survived 2 of them.
I was gonna say, wait a minute, isn't that? That's
Yeah, don't mind his 3 heads or 6 eyeballs, but other than that,
yeah. Wow. Let's see here. There was also a bit of a odd daily shooter event. Mark, did you see that? Guy went to a big building in like Manhattan where like NFL headquarter and NFL offices and shot a bunch of people.
no, I've been a little out of the loop the last 72 hours or so. Other than UK column Friday morning, I haven't done any news related things whatsoever. And I was driving a lot yesterday. So, no, but always take these shootings with a grain of salt. You don't know what happened. Don't think you know what happened because you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
It
Yep.
just that the media wants to make it be something to stump for gun control. So they have a preset mentality on the whole thing, you know. It's it's very,
I saw
very
a picture of
difficult.
the shooter. If you can see, you can't see it. Can you see who that is?
Oh, Sam Hyde. Yeah, that's a meme.
That
Mark.
is
It's not actually him.
That was weird.
But here's the narrative, Mark. At least what I know about it. I only know the overhead too. I've been kind of heads down on the media this week also, but the narrative that they're giving is that this guy, I believe he was African American or Cuban or something like that, darker skinned guy, used to play football, didn't play in the NFL, as far as I could tell, but said that he had CTE, the traumatic head injury that a lot of football guys say that they get, and a lot of research shows is a real thing.
Yeah.
There was a football player that killed himself so they could study his brain, I think, because he was experiencing it so badly. Anyways, this guy said he was suffering from that, and then he went on a shooting spree on the 33rd floor for you skeptics, which was the wrong floor for the NFL thing, and then killed himself with his rifle by shooting himself in the chest.
And got the Blackstone CEO or whatever.
Yeah, Blackstone was in the same building.
And there's a Vegas tie-in too, because the weapon he has his what is it? His concealed carry was from Vegas, which was weird because we just had the anniversary of the Harvest shooting.
And he drove from Vegas to Manhattan to do that.
Did they say what kind of long gun rifle he
It
supposed
was an AR. AR-15.
AR. He shot himself in the chest with an AR-15.
Well, point of interest on that one. When I watched the news, the short clips, they were saying it was an M4. So an M4 would be the actual military.
That's a photo. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like what replaced the M16. It's basically an updated M16. It has a select fire on it, so it can do burst and stuff like that. So how did this guy have that? And I just found it weird because usually they don't like to be specific about the model. So it was kind of odd to me that they're being specific about the model and that it was a military model, one that would be very difficult for a civilian to own without a lot of paperwork and a lot of money. So I don't know. Just that was an anomaly to me. I don't know what to make of it.
They also said that he had shouted "Free Palestine." They also, I mean, there are a bunch of things.
Okay.
When I saw this, I mean, it is easy when any of these big events happen to say that people sort of. I think that's part of the flooding the zone, as Bannon and Obama have recently called it, with just completely flooding, washing everything in a conspiracy. But this was, I agree with Maddie right there in the chat, Digital Minefield. He says some people are saying the NFL thing and obfuscation, and that he actually was after Blackstone, which is in the same building. He did off himself on the 33rd floor after all, MKUltra wind-up toy. I mean, it does have a lot of the hallmarks of that. It was weird when you were watching the coverage because the number of the cops that showed up and the number of people that they grabbed on the street and were like running blocks down the street. You see the 2 people they arrested on the street and like ran 10 city blocks with them. It was very, very strange. Very, very Vegas-esque.
Did most reports say that he said something about Palestine?
No,
yeah, a lot of them ran with it, but
bunch
We
of them
don't-
ran with it, but it turned out, as last I looked, that it was unconfirmed. And I think once that was busted, the news started to slow down on it. Like the narrative that they spit is hard to believe. It doesn't work well with the white nationalist extremist line that they love to go for. It didn't fit into any of the identity politic things. So the CTE NFL thing could very well be a clever cover because he wasn't in the NFL. And the other thing is like, it something's rotten there. Seems like something's rotten there. Yeah,
And the fact they reported him as white,
yeah,
which was with him on the screen, which was
initially.
another layer of that whole thing.
Well,
Yeah,
did they show a picture
how
of the?
Yes.
how that news cycle run, right? Because this is what they usually do, is that all the fake news and all the slogan they throw in the beginning, right? And then they retract nothing of that at the end when the truth come out, right? So this is usually their way of like clouding the true picture, and also try to push for certain narrative in the beginning, and then just once the truth come out, like really nobody pays attention to it back then.
Yeah, this also resulted in the other mayoral candidate, the dude with the beret, the conservative guy, whose answer to this is, what's he called, street angels or something? Whose reaction to this is, we need more facial recognition technology, and we need pre-crime divisions.
Your AI.
Oh, well, did that get a lot of play?
Yes.
Oh, I
Okay,
bet
then you have the possibility here of a staged event to get some sort of, it could be city policy passed, it could be a contract for a company that would provide that technology.
Palantir. Excuse me.
This could be vaudeville. This whole thing could be firing blanks. The guy might have been shuffled out of there. It might not have went down at all the way we were told, or it partially went down the way we were told. It got botched. Maybe something didn't go right. But it sounds to me, the one thing to keep in mind always is the action is in the reaction. That's what terrorism is. By definition, terrorism is to perform a violent event for a political end, for an outcome. You're not just shooting somebody. You're doing something in order to get a political outcome.
In other words, a psychological operation.
Yeah. Now it might not be real. No, it's possible nobody died. The actions and the reaction. So the thing to look for will be, do they get the facial recognition technology? Do they get more gun control? Do they get some policy outcome? That's the thing to look for. A little more than what happened, even though from a detective standpoint, that's always interesting and kind of fun, sort of fun to dig into, like Columbo, or something. This doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. How do we figure this out? But the outcome is what to look for. If they achieve the outcome, then mission accomplished.
Even the names that they put up, and the cops' name for YouTube purposes, especially, RIP. But the name of the people, Islam. The guy's name is Islam.
Yeah, that's
the Free Palestine thing. The names of the victims are like almost AI chatter, gobbledygook.
Yeah,
and
that's very suspicious right there.
Yeah.
It's almost like if the shooter's name was Mike Shooter.
Right.
The girl's name is Wesley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wesley LePatner. Like what?
Yeah. What is the thing? Yes. That's not a name. It's LePatner, LePalantir.
Look at how look at look at inside of some of these photos, and you see the insane number of law enforcement there. I don't know how.
There's a famous picture. There's a picture that was distributed pretty widely, also of a lady cop, and that was weird. I mean, because she's got like a jacket or coat on, and it's New York City in the dog days. So it just, who's wearing a coat? And listen, I lived in New York for a year, and I moved there in the summer, moved out for the summer, and it's like the worst, most oppressive concrete heat, heat blitz you can ever have. I don't know what the jackets are, and just the little details of these things are so strange.
Exactly. The details, you got to look at those.
Look, first off, look at the quality of some of these photos. Look at this. I mean, tell me there's not a gaggle of professional photographers there. Look at that response. Look how many cops there are. I mean, these are clearly like taken with an expensive camera.
Yeah, they don't want any discerning eyes behind the scenes.
There you go. That's a nice one, right?
Yeah. A lot of the talk also became about the availability of concealed carry permits and how they apply to New York and Vegas, which it becomes the chatter with a lot of the stuff, that and the reaction.
What is concealed carry with an M4 though? Why does he talk about concealed carry with an M4?
Yeah, look at this guy. This guy's not concealed carrying anything. He's open carrying what they claim is an M4 rifle.
What is this?
He's strutting too. Like that's what they kept talking about that.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't, he double parked. He drove straight from Vegas. He double parked right outside the building. He strutted in full view. He took like 5 seconds to walk up to the thing, walked up, and there was no way that they could prevent the thing. So they need precog facial recognition so they can eliminate this sort of threat.
Seriously?
Did they report he had body armor on in one of?
Yes,
I thought I'd
yes,
seen
they
that.
did.
Okay,
yep.
And then he shoots himself in the chest. What, through the body armor?
That doesn't make sense with an M4 unless it was shitty body armor.
That's good detective thinking right there. When there's those huge contradictions, that to whatever degree you're being lied to. It's almost like them saying after he shot, he jumped out of a 10th floor window right to the ground and ran away. And you're thinking, oh, he jumped 10 floors. I'm using that as an example. You look for those things because sometimes it's almost like they're taunting you, gaslighting you. They'll tell you something completely absurd, and through the media cartel, and we're supposed to just believe it. And you wonder, it's almost like a Cass Sunstein moment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he valiantly leaped out of the 15th story onto the ground and ran away from police until he was apprehended. Superman.
Yeah. Yeah, the editorializing and the use of adverbs when they discuss these things starts to mythologize it in either way right away, and then it gets repeated ad nauseum through everyone. And then there's all of a sudden, Bo Dietl or whatever shows up and is like talking about precognition.
Like, are we really to believe as the public that the building in Manhattan has offices for the NFL, Blackstone, and a laundry list of other like Fortune 50 companies don't have security out front, clearly they have a camera out front. See, I'm looking at an image from their camera. Apparently,
he had a badge. He had a badge that badged him through, and then they said he took the wrong elevator. The elevator thing is another post 9/11 narrative.
That is such bullshit, dude.
Yeah, it's like he's Robert De Niro in Heat, badging his way up to the witnesses
with an M4 just in his hand. I'm sorry, this is ludicrous. This is the stupidest narrative I've ever heard.
Also, a Middle Eastern man, right, or mostly peaceful, right, maskless party goers. It's always the obfuscation with the description of the guy that we can clearly. You don't believe your lying eyes.
Yeah.
And look at his gait and his composure in that picture, Hesher. Does it look like, first of all, does it even look like he's wearing body armor? I don't think so. The other thing is like he's got nothing else with him. He's got just the one magazine in the M4 from all you could tell me. Does it look like anywhere on the way he's walking that he's got any extra? I mean, because that's a big magazine, right? That's not like little handgun clips you're going to throw in your back pocket, right? You'd have something on you. You'd have like a fanny pack at least, damn it, and anything. He's going to just go with what he's got in the one magazine. How many rounds would that hold? You would just say
30.
Right here?
It looks like a 30 round.
Everything looks like a shot from a movie set.
Yeah.
And it's strange because the movie set, life is a movie now. And that's one of the narratives, right? You're the hero, you're the protagonist in your own story, right? Live your
Oh,
truth.
so he
I
thinks
saw
he's
a thing
John
about
Wick. I get it.
yeah, I saw a thing exactly. I saw a thing about Chicago the other night, and they were reporting a massive shooting in the middle of the city, and it was a movie set. It was literally a movie set. But it's you're in Chicago already, so
Yeah. No, and the other thing with okay, like I would accept that maybe he would be wearing soft body armor under that shirt. It looks like he's wearing a shirt and a jacket, right? He could be wearing soft body armor under it. But what's in what world would it make sense to go do something like that and to decide you're going to, off yourself by shooting yourself in the chest while you're wearing body armor? Like you're going to I'm seriously supposed to believe this guy wants to preserve his brain for science, which, by the way, is just a stolen story from an actual guy who really did that. And it's just like, oh, sources say that maybe that's what this guy was doing too. You're crazy. You're absolutely insane. And then he's going to shoot himself in the chest while wearing body armor, even soft body armor. You're going to chance that. You're going to chance that maybe the body armor would stop that round. I mean, it just makes no sense whatsoever. But we're supposed to just think he's crazy, right? Or he's got CTE and he's not thinking right. So
or even the media chain, the provenance of how we found out this guy was a football player. He's got one video, one clip, one video on YouTube where he's in an interview post game, and he has got the same eyes as the guy, if that's the guy. But it reminds me of people forget about. Remember the other Big 9 event, right, in Libya, where the whole thing with the embassy in Libya, the 13 hours was blamed on the guy with the YouTube video, like in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? I mean,
yeah,
that was the cause of the Arab Spring.
Yeah, ridiculous. It's be more creative if you're gonna do psyops and stage management and this kind of crap, this Newberg Sting style stuff. Be more creative. We're tired of these lame narratives.
Yeah, it's strange. The MKUltra angle, let's say he was put up to this and he was under some sort of drug-induced arrest, or the story that he was a disturbed individual can be a false lead, or can lead you off into the weeds, if it was a completely faked and staged event, which is one possibility among others. Then the MKUltra thing, it sounds intriguing. You kind of want to grab onto that and say, that makes sense, but does it? Then you back off and think, wait a minute, maybe that's just another way to make us think this thing is real, when this guy might have been, surreptitiously smuggled out of that area and, taken away. And we're told, of course, that he shot himself. Do we really know? There's so much we don't know, and we have to confront how much we don't know. But like I said, the thing we can discern is what policies, if any, come out of it. And the more policies that do come out of it, the more that teaches us what this was about. And so that's really the thing to watch. They're trying so hard to get rid of the rest of the Second Amendment, what's left of it, but also have this total surveillance state,
Yeah,
And
this one reminds me closest to the Boston Navy Yard shooter. Was it Baltimore Navy Yard shooter? Remember my ELF weapon?
Yep.
Black shooter. That was one of the first times they ever publicized that. Black shooter walked into the Navy Yard and smoked all those people. And then had been reporting hearing voices. He was a TI. MKUltra is crazy because it's just filtered into everywhere. It's just everywhere now. It's just everyone. The reports from the Astro World Travis Scott concert a few years ago. Remember where all the people died at the concert, and they. We knew that everybody had to take the stabby going into it, but the light barrage and the radio frequencies somehow possibly activated a thing that made all these people collapse. And what's there to say that's not doing the same thing with this stuff combined with CTE or whatever? I mean,
yeah, I wonder about that a lot too, man. Just like how many kill switches are in our environment? You know what I mean? Like how many things that when combined do something, that you wouldn't think to expect that could end up fatal. You know what I mean? Like you could be carrying something that is completely inert by itself, but then you experience an electromagnetic pulse, or some sort of EMF, or exposed to a different thing that it binds with, or whatever. Like that. I'm not sciencey enough to know the right words to describe that, but I wonder about that often.
I think the 2020 riots were where we saw Operation Everything Do Anything Now.
Yeah.
It was just everything all together, and now I guess we're seeing the remnants of that.
Right. It was like we had the purge basically happen.
Yeah.
And then just tried to like go back to normal, sort of, but like all the people that were radicalized into purgers are like still among us.
What
Up
are
there
the
with
2020
meth and
riots?
hammers.
Two vector or something simple like that, Hesher. A two vector.
Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Thing. Yeah.
Sorry, they're full of what we saying?
That's full of bull to you. Hey, what? Just so I know, the 2020 riots. I want to make sure I understand. What was that?
Well, I meant just that the 2020 riots were kind of a crucible for every kind of program that we could ever possibly conceive of happening at once.
No, what riots do you mean? Just so I'm thinking of the right event.
George Floyd, Summer of Love.
Oh,
yeah.
Seattle.
Yes,
Okay,
Seattle worldwide burning. Yeah.
Yeah, just making sure I'm thinking of the same thing. Okay, that's fine.
And Antifa and BLM, basically, which some people say is the army that Obama promised everybody when he first took office. Yeah.
So there's another event, like it wasn't a shooting, was a stabbing spree in a Walmart up in, was it in Michigan or Wisconsin?
Yeah. Someone, concealed carry person took him down, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looked like it was a black guy too, but they don't report any of this.
Black guy with locks in a parking lot.
Yep. I saw some footage there. Yep, that was great. And it's funny how like you don't see all those stories. Like those stories happen.
The Good
all
Samaritan.
time.
We want to be clear: the Good Samaritan, not the person doing the stabbing.
Yes, the Good Samaritan doing his freedom protector duty.
That makes me, they got the guy, they constrain him, they restrain him or whatever. But it reminds me of the first Naked Gun movie where she said, we don't want any more incidents like last summer. And he's like, when I see 5 guys dressed in bed sheets stabbing a guy in public, I smoke the bastard. That's what I do. That was a Shakespeare in the Park production of Julius Caesar, you moron.
There's a new Naked Gun coming out now.
We're seeing it tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Liam Neeson.
Without Leslie Nielsen, though, I don't know.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to imagine.
I hope it'll be funny because there are no comedies out. So we decided that we need some good slapstick, something, please take a chair. She walks out with the chair. Cover me. He throws a blanket over his head.
Shirley, you're not going in there. Don't call me Shirley.
By the way, the first Naked Gun movie was about MKUltra. It was a Monarch shooter. You remember that?
Right.
It was mind control. They activate. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Must kill the queen.
Right. I saw
it's Enrico Palazzo.
Oh, I hope it's good. Yeah. So I don't know, just to sum up on my end on this one, like I said, I haven't done a deep dive on it. This conversation has helped me though, and I think it fits. It's got all the hallmarks basically that we have outlined in our taxonomy of the daily shooter over the years. It's got the anomalies, it's got the red flags, it's got the shifting narrative, it's got the massive response, it's got the media blitz, it's got one other thing I noticed while watching some reporting about this. None of the sources that the journalists, these people right here in my background, for those of you listening, there's a bunch of clowns sitting behind me. These people, they did not cite any official sources. It was like they were just citing sources, throwaway sources. It was like, and I haven't watched all of it. I haven't watched it in a couple of days, but when it was fresh, I was like sitting there with Spore, and I was like, that's not a source. That's not a source. Like they just said something crazy, and then they said their source was, XYZ, which is not a source I can go look up or anything. So there was a lot of that narrative pushing and pulling going on.
Was there any of the so and so spoke to us on condition of anonymity who's familiar with the situation? Was there
Yeah,
some of that?
basically. Yeah, even yes, even stinkier, like even stinkier versions of that one. Like that comment would have been better than some of the ones they were using. I was just like, what are you guys doing? This is not reporting at all.
Yeah,
So
that's all very strange. When they start telling sourceless statistics and elements of the story, and that it's the shifting sand effect. You know, you're never quite sure where you're at. It's like when the Uvalde shooting first happened. A couple of things in that school shooting that were extremely suspicious were, well, we had to bring the parents in because some of the children were shot beyond recognition. And we had to have DNA and dental tests to identify the children that were shot by the Uvalde, Texas school shooter. Now, you tell me in a school where the same people come together every day, and everybody knows Billy wears red tennis shoes, and everybody knows Sally wears white tennis shoes, and everybody's familiar with hairstyles and clothing, and it's not like a mall where random people come in every day and it's never the same people each day. And so you're going to tell me not only would you not know who some of those kids are, shot beyond recognition, but you're going to tell me that some hapless teeny bopper teenage shooter is going to focus so much on some of the kids and shoot them so many times that you wouldn't even know who they are.
ludicrous.
I mean,
That's a great point, Mark.
Calling bullshit. Every letter capital.
Total bullshit narrative. How can I say this without being grim? That the round that was used for that is not the kind of round that is going to turn someone into something you don't recognize. All right, it's not much bigger than a 22. It goes faster, it does more damage, but they're not big holes. All right, I'll put it that way.
Yeah, and the other thing that was extremely suspicious, it kind of comes around to when there's a watershed event. Even though you don't trust the media, the very first reports that come out, you want to record those before they start molding the narrative another way. They had this incrementalism. Well, the news reporter said in May of 2022, I think it was, Uvalde, west of San Antonio, we've heard that 2 children are dead. And then a little later, we've heard that maybe 10 have been shot and 7 of those are dead. How could they possibly have an incremental report of how many were dying along the way, 2, 4, 6, 8, etc., if only later did they ever see the entire scene in its entirety all at once? Because we were told that the cops wouldn't go in and nobody was going to be a hero, and that finally they went in and took care of business. So there would have been no way to accurately know, if you know anything at all, about any incremental reports.
Yeah, 72 minutes. 72 minutes before anyone made entry into that room.
Right. So how could they say, and I heard this myself, and as God is my witness, I heard it. I wish I would have recorded it with my phone or something, but they were doing this incremental thing, and there is just no chance that's true.
They went all the way up to 19. They did it for like 2 days, or into the evening at very least. It went up to 19, and there was I have recorded a bunch of that stuff, and it's probably all, even the stuff that you were mentioning and catching fresh at the time, are in the archives for my TNT show and old boiler rooms from around that time.
Well,
So
yeah,
we have that stuff.
Don't ever throw that away, because some of what I'm saying is literally when it first started, right at the very onset of this, and they had this incremental, gradual, punctuated thing going along. And even then I was like, well, how do you know that?
Who's feeding you this in real time? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, is the shooter rolling down the window? I got two more to go, and then putting the window, I mean, it's almost as if the people themselves are being tested, Just what will these rubes believe?
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying.
it certainly does feel that way.
Anything. They'll believe anything.
Yeah, they'll
I mean,
believe anything.
yeah.
And for those of us that question it and are skeptical, we have to deal with the MKUltra style skull plugging of all those around us. Like, and we're the ones that are being like ritually humiliated by this. Karen, what's up, Karen? Karen says MKUltra is old. They have better ways and
Yeah.
tech now.
Shouts out to Karen right there. We know that. We're just using that as a catch-all sort of generalized term.
That's the
for this sort
thing.
of
We know what they were doing in the in the 50s and the 60s and all that shit, but it's like what they're doing now is like science fiction. It's the Matrix. There's something just humming around all of us, just diddly doot, fucking 24/7.
I think the model still stands, though. The search for the real Manchurian candidate still stands. With 5 basic sort of programs for this, going through MK Omega, which is the self-destruct method. You see that in the Bourne Legacy. That was a great example of that in a film, right? Where remember Rachel Weisz is working in the big pharma tied DARPA facility in Maryland, near Fort Detrick. I guess it's probably Fort Detrick in the movie. And the guy, she's talking to the scientist, and then he just turns around and smokes everybody, and then himself, and just out of nowhere. That was I think that was probably pretty accurate and truthful representation of that. But the model still sort of stands for this. The programs and the names become sort of irrelevant in terms of a generalized catch-all term for it. But we know that it's advanced far beyond that.
Yeah, it's scary to think about what it actually is right now, because I think whatever it is, it's ubiquitous in our ecosystem.
It's just society. I mean, I saw a thing, Trump wanting he signed an executive order to bring back insane asylums. Was that accurate? If that's accurate, that's crazy. Because, my friend David Patrick Harry, Church of the Eternal Logos, says, put it best when he said, like, they emptied out the insane asylums, and that's like public city now. That's just everything.
Yeah.
That is the insane asylum. So
it is, dude. I was watching this guy go through Oakland the other day. Spore and I both spent a lot of time in Oakland. And it is not what it once was. It is crazy. The way that town works, like, how there's, sort of that, hood adjacent sort of meme life or, reality for a lot of people. Like, the hood, they showed the hood adjacent neighborhood, and it was just like, holy crap. It's just like literally like half a block away. It just looks like an apocalypse happened. And if you walk in there, you're gonna have your backpack and your shoes stolen and maybe get killed and maybe be trafficked.
It's crazy how drugs play into this too. Because I was thinking about how, the 80s you had. Today I was talking to somebody about that documentary High on Crack Street from the 80s, when it begins with hot times somewhere in the city, and it's just like businessmen and regular people, and everybody's lining up just to buy crack. And it's like, and then you see the famous interview of the guy standing up in the city council meeting with they're talking about the LAPD, and he's like, no, I know that CIA was distributing drugs. They asked me to be part of it. And he names the 3 operations, and he ends up dead. And how things were probably better in the midpoint when you had ease of access to it was so easy to get like narcotic, opioids, for example. But that was better than when they banned them and then did the war on terror and then took them away. And then now everybody's on fentanyl combined with SSRIs. And it's just an absolute degradation. At least before, it seemed to be some sort of, there was a drug life and there was, people on the street, but it wasn't like everywhere on the street. My friend would take the Long Island Railroad into Grand Central every day to go to work in Manhattan. It's like you have to step over 20,000 people in Grand Central on fentanyl, just sleeping everywhere. And that's different than the homelessness and stuff that we had before. But now, I mean, it's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a level of just danger that we've never really had nationwide, at least in ours or our parents' lifetimes that I know of. I mean, we've had cities go bad, for extended amounts of time. Like think New York before Giuliani era. Like 70s to then. It was
Exactly,
a little shady, a little sketchy.
Yeah, seedy. Maddie brings up right there. I just want to say, he says, I don't have an issue with opening asylums, but there has to be strict controls. Think about all the things the establishment has labeled as making a person mentally ill over that decade. And that's true. That sort of ties in with the story we were just doing, because one of the things that was mentioned in the media feed was about how you can get it, the concealed carry permit is so restricted. You cannot buy a gun in Virginia, for example, if you've been committed, what's the term when they commit you? I forget the term. When they commit you without
institutionalized,
when you've been institutionalized, so for example, you have a lot of people right now. The common thing, especially as you were saying, hood adjacent, is people are so emotional and go crazy. They'll start shouting out things about just kill me or whatever. And those people get committed and they can't. That's one thing that ties in with you. You can't ever purchase a gun if that's happened to you. And so, the controls are crazy, but yeah, there's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, another MKUltra book and movie.
I was waiting for you to name the film.
Yeah, 1975 Best Picture,
and that's extra dangerous because, as he points out, there's all kind of things they label people mentally ill for now. It's bananas.
That's a great.
Yeah,
application for AI, because I can create an AI to go to your social media and label you as a lunatic.
Which they're talking about delegating to AI, right?
Lunatic, coming from Luna, the moon makes you crazy.
That's right. And the other thing, like a lot of those experiences that people are having, those mental breakdowns, are due to medications or street drugs that they've been taking. It's not like they should permanently lose their any constitutional right because they had a mental health event of some sort or an addiction of some sort, that was in most cases environmental or dietary or toxicity,
So this is a perfect example. You actually brought really very good point, because the way Trump tried to sell this is by relating it to the homeless, right? And we know that most of the homeless people out in the street, they are on drugs. They are not necessarily just all crazies, right? So drug and opioid abuse is a big piece of that. But he tried to sell that order as a way to fight homelessness, which is crazy.
Oh, 5150 is the term I was thinking of.
There you go.
Van Halen. Yeah. I don't know.
It'll make a man crazy or a woman? War. We've got that to deal with too, right?
But Trump stops a war every month. Didn't you see the latest?
Oh my God! Get out of here! Yeah, whatever.
He stopped a war, at least a war a month. Izzy says, take us back to the Cheech and Chong era, right? Like, what happened to just tune in, drop out, drop acid, whatever. Now we've got a literal zombie apocalypse happening, and cities just quite frankly about to implode. I mean, what that's doing to the housing market and the businesses in Oakland is it's a recipe. It's a ticking time bomb. It's not gonna, you know what I mean? It's gonna turn into like the Warriors, but it's a lot scarier.
Well, that Blackstone CEO was all related to real estate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, could have been a hit, right? I mean, all the weird shenanigans there, all the weird anomalies, the weird bouncing ball narrative would be a great way to obfuscate an op like that. Just saying.
Well, now that sounds crazy. You should probably be put into an insane asylum.
Uh-oh.
Remember that song by Suicidal Tendencies, Institutionalized?
So
yeah, I just wanted a Pepsi. All I wanted was a Pepsi.
Yeah.
That's right.
You
have you heard
That's
Body
a great
Count?
skateboard song.
It is. That would go great on there.
Yeah.
I have Suicidal Tendencies on my mix.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Not that song. I have a different one.
Have you heard Body Count's cover of that song?
Yeah, it's pretty good. The video's pretty good too.
Yep.
Body Count, like Ice-T Body Count?
Yeah.
Yep.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, check it out. Look it up, everybody.
Words like this offend you, bitch. Yeah.
he totally changed the lyrics and messed with the verses, but the choruses are all intact. It's great. He did a great job with it. It's really fun.
He modernized it a little bit.
It did get modernized. Yes, it now features Xbox and vegans and all kind of fun stuff. Let's see here. What else do we got? We did the nuclear subs. We did the Manhattan Daily Shooter event. We did.
My friend was Ice-T's personal assistant in New
Oh
York.
yeah,
Yeah. His job every day was to go wash his purple Lamborghini. That's
pretty
what
fun,
he did every
dude.
day. He's like, go feed my dog. He's a poodle.
Hey, that's cool. I watched Ice-T get harassed by the cops recently. He was driving one of his fine Porsches and he was on his way to the DMV and the cops pulled him over on the way to the DMV and the cop did not know who he was or didn't give a fuck who he was and gave him the hardest time. It was an interesting watch. You have to watch Ice-T deal with the real cops because he plays a cop on TV. He may be gangsta, but he plays a cop on TV. But
he's pro Second Amendment. I know that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like Ice for the most part. I don't really know his politic or didn't really pay attention to him during COVID or anything. Actually, I did, and he put out a good album. That was all he did. So he didn't tell anyone to wear a mask or anything like that. So shouts out to Ice-T. What else did we have? Oh, I know what else we had. So let's see. Full of Bull's gonna rejoin us in a minute here, and he probably won't have long when he gets back, but where did that article go? I was telling you guys about this. Yes. Here it is. You guys want to talk AI for a minute?
Yeah.
All right. So, let me put this one on screen here. So, Microsoft has a study that they claim reveals the 40 jobs AI is most likely to impact and the 40 that are safe for now. So I thought this might be interesting to look at. Shredder sent this one in. Happy birthday. Thanks, Shredder. Definitely want to get everybody's opinion on this. So you folks in the chat, tell us what you think too. Let me check the chat here real quick. Karen says more people are homeless than ever before, not by choice, not on drugs. So throw them away and drug them with experimental pharmaceuticals. That's where we're at. Yeah. Yeah. And then there's also
run
like
for mayor or something.
Yeah, totally. There's also this odd culture of this huge percentage of people out there that once they're in that sort of feral fentanyl society of homeless people, like they don't want to leave. You know what I mean? They want to live their life that way. I've heard a lot of people say that, like they'll have a limb rotting off and be saying that. It's just like, whoa, okay. Anyways, so let's just cut right to it. So this is on tomsguide.com tech website. And Amanda Caswell put this up on July 30th. And if you've been wondering, we'll just skip right to the good part here. If you've been wondering if your job is at risk, Microsoft is here to let you know. Okay, so watch out. Here's the at-risk category. Customer service representatives, sales representatives of services, market research analysts, management analysts, data scientists, public relations specialists, technical writers, editors, writers and authors, news analysts, reporters and journalists. Oh, crap. Interpreters and translators, proofreaders and copy makers, web developers, business, let's see, public safety, telecommunicators. I guess that's just all going to be digital. Remember when they told the people of Hawaii in a text message that there was a thermonuclear ballistic missile heading towards them and then said, oops, sorry about that? Yeah, public
Yeah.
safety communicators. That's hard to say, but those people. Here we go. Business teachers, post-secondary, economics teachers, post-secondary, library science teachers, post-secondary, political scientists, historians, mathematicians, statistical assistants, demonstrators and product promoters, models, hosts and hostesses, concierges, advertising sales agents, new accounts clerks, counter and rental clerks, telephone operators, ticket agents, travel clerks, broadcast announcers and radio DJs, brokerage clerks, farm and home management educators, telemarketers, personal financial advisors, and interpreters and translators. So,
Models.
models, sorry. Okay. Thoughts? Are you
Like
seeing
the
a pattern?
OnlyFans chicks. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Let me guess. The ones that are safe from AI are going to be the ones that are either, like Elon said, totally give in to AI, or ones that are going. I mean, that AI truly can't replace, which is when it takes a human touch or dexterity to do.
No, you're right. It's about AI teacher, AI trainer, AI
Yeah.
developer, AI fixer.
Analyzer, DJ,
writers and authors is interesting because they did that to themselves in many ways. I mean, there was a huge push. Now, part of the Hollywood writer's strike was about precluding people from using AI. That obviously doesn't seem to have done anything with this, but people thought, oh, it'll be a great idea to use AI to help me with my book. But if it's a work of creative writing in any sense, you did that to yourself. It's totally, that is filtered all the way down to the common email in any office where it is completely inhuman. And I see there's an ease of use with that, which is fine, but they really did that to themselves. Anything that takes any sort of metaphysical meaning in anything, AI is completely ruining. It's totally generic and totally predictive, and has really taken the things that it means to be human out of the equation, I think. But AI teachers, I mean, yeah, and then on the other side, anything that takes AI to fix AI seems natural for that. This is like an all-consuming thing. I think a lot of this is again like mythologizing AI for the way it is with these language models and stuff. And I don't know how far down the road it is, but it seems to be already happening. If you're in the service industry and you think AI is not going to take over your thing, I mean, come on.
Well, let's see what it suggests is safe.
Yeah, let's look at safe. I will say though that you can get a robot server for $20,000. So I don't know how much a server human flesh one is worth in places when
like at the Tesla diner.
Yeah, you just buy once, cry once, and you got a server that's never late and shows up all the time. So, all right, let's look at what's safe for now. Here we go. I take a deep breath. All right. So, hey, I know someone who does the first one here. Shouts out to Fletcher. Automotive glass installers and repairers, bridge and lock tenders, cement masons, concrete finishers, cleaners of vehicles and equipments, commercial drivers, construction laborers, continuous mining machine operators, cooks, short order, derrick operators. What the fuck is a derrick operator?
It's like a roughneck.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got you. Okay, right. Yeah. Oil guy. Okay, oil and gas. Dishwashers, dredge operators, drywall and ceiling, tile installers. Got another homie that does that. Earth drillers, except oil and gas. Excavating and loading machine, drag line operators, fallers, fence erectors, floor sanders and finishers, food cooking machine operators and tenders, forest conservation, gardens and sorters, agricultural products, highway maintenance workers. We should have robots for that. Insulation, mechanical, janitors and cleaners. We should have robots for that too. Landscaping and groundkeeping, logging, mine cutting, channel machine operators, oil and gas rotary drill operators.
This to me brings out, you remember the whole society, the underground society in 1984 or in Demolition Man?
Yeah.
There's a whole group of people who are not subject to the rules of what happens in 1984. And they're depicted as, a working class or lower class kind of bog people. And that this is where we're headed, because this is, the push for, just on an education level, the push for college has been insane over the last few decades. And Sam Hyde made a good point the other night. He was like, if this isn't, the college is kind of a bell curve with who is suitable for it or who can benefit from it. But if you're going to spend $250,000 to go to college instead of investing it, or working in a business, or you fail at a business and you move on and you have a life, then it's crazy. And this, this really, I think this is an unintentional consequence of this. It shows that people who go into the trades, and there's a lot of people who watch my show and who watch your show, who watch here, that are like this, who have made lives out of, really great lives, and are not beholden to this whole academic bullshit. I talked to a custodian, used to call them janitors, the other day. And I was like, hey man, ready for the weekend? And he was like, I don't get a weekend. I work 7 days a week. I got 8 kids. And this guy has 8 kids. He's got grandkids. His oldest, this guy's like my age, and he's got a grown daughter who now has a grandkid. And this is the happiest motherfucker I've seen in like 10 years. He had light in his eyes. He was happy to be at work. This is like his 3rd job. He cleans trash cans. And that guy he doesn't have any of this bullshit. And I was like, you're blessed, man. Good for you. And I just think that's kind of an unintentional consequence of what's happening with these lists. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Couple comments.
Can I point out something real quick too, Hesher?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because if you go back to the beginning of the article, the headline, this is about AI, and it says these are the jobs that are safe from AI. And already you were noticing, as you were going through the list of the ones that were allegedly safe from AI, are not safe from robots now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this shit is happening quick. You know what I mean? It's funny.
Yeah.
It's not funny.
I mean, that most recent Megan Fox movie, like a central part of the plot in it was that, there was a construction site and the construction workers were having outbursts because they were slowly being replaced by robotic construction droids. And they looked pretty damn real. They looked pretty like, that can't be too far in the future if it's not already, a bunch of those underground building bunkers for the elites. Let me go to Mystical Pharaoh here, see if you've seen a pattern, any patterns you want to talk about. And then I got a couple viewer comments I want to throw up. Pharaoh, what do you think, man? You see any patterns here in the safe versus not safe? What do you think of the list?
I actually wanted to bring the point that Ruckus brought out, that especially when I saw the truck drivers, right? Because we know that with self-driving trucks is one of the things they are pushing for as well. So surprising they say mathematicians, right? There was actually some surprising in the list to go, which is, I don't know why mathematicians will go. I don't think they will go. But I think it goes back to a point we were talking about before the show, right? Is there is a big push right now for AI to be everywhere. And I think part of this is more of a conditioning that is happening right now to the society to buy into the narrative, right? And to accept what they want you to push for it to be, right? Because we have the choice to adopt AI, to use it the way we human want to use it, right? Which might not be the same how they want to use it, right? And how they want to push you to use it. So I think you will see a lot of conditioning to drive us in a direction that they want us to go for us, so that we don't resist that direction, right? And direct it in a different way. Because there are uses for that AI, right? But we as a species, as humans, we have to choose how we want to use it. That really will mostly benefit us, not drag us into an age of idiocracy where you have 90% or 95% of the population have no fucking idea what to do anything other than just asking ChatGPT a question, right? So then all your training will be how you write prompt, because that's what they wanted to you to be, right? Is how to master writing a prompt to get the AI to give you the right answer, right?
Have you seen those influencers that sell courses on how to do that already?
Yeah, this is garbage, right?
Like I can't think of a way to ask a question. What?
Because
What had happened?
the way you ask the question will direct it to give you a different answer, right? So, but again, they want to reduce you as a human not to be critical thinker, or at least the majority, right? They want to reduce the majority to people that just how to ask questions to AI so that they are become completely reliant, they have lose critical thinking, they are easily controlled slobs, right? That's how they want us to push to it. Whereas I think what everybody needs to start paying attention to is how can we use those tools in the right way? How can we adopt those tools the right way in education, especially in college education, right? So that you do not kill critical thinking, especially in college. Uh,
Yes.
but so that's I think there is a lot of debates are going to happen, and it's going to depend at the end of the day to us and whether we're going to buy into their narrative and the bullshit that Microsoft and those big companies are going to try to push us into. Because you can see right now the large data model is consolidating into the hand of a few, right? Everybody else are going to be users to those large platforms, right? The large AI models, right? And all the brain power will be people getting paid millions to develop those models, right? Everybody else is just going to be a user of it. And I think that's a push that they are trying to get to, is that the power will only be consolidated into the hand of those few corporations that own those large models, right? Everybody else is a fucking user.
Great example of that, Mystical Pharaoh. The movie Eddington that just came out with directed by Ari Aster, which is actually about exactly what you're talking about. A gigantic data mining facility built by users and controlled by technocratic overlords that don't even appear in the film.
I might have to check that out. But
That's
that's
interesting. They're
my take.
building one of those in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so this is the next point of this, right? That's where we're going to go. Is all this massive data centers they are building, and you can see the talks about energy and debates right now about nuclear energy, right? You start seeing that popping more and more, right? People that are skeptical of nuclear energy because they are pushing to build more reactors everywhere, right? So, and then now you start, how are you going to cool those centers, right? Are we going to use water that human drinks? Like, how the hell are we going to do that? So they're almost going to be a fight between humans and AI, or those corporations that are powering AI for resources to be able to power what they want to power. So that's a fight that's going to happen. It's not going to be that far off in the future.
Dude, with the movie Waterworld with Kevin Costner is really about AI war on humans. That's pretty crazy. That's a good point. Especially about
It used
the
to be about
resources.
like some sort of little minnow fish, why liking the water in California, right, Hesher, or whatever. And now
Yeah.
it's like now no, sorry, plebs, you stupid dirty humans, no water for you. We need the water for the AI robots who are your overlords now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you will accept rolling blackouts. You will accept 2 weeks with no power. You will accept entire neighborhoods blowing up. All right, houses with people inside them blowing up spontaneously because the gas lines aren't maintained properly in California. You will accept all of that, and you will accept the brunt of the blame of climate change for eating hamburgers and driving SUVs. And you will experience great shortages and crappy service And
you will live in Mega City 1, and all of the natural things in this country will be taken over by Microsoft Gemini, which sucks.
Yep. Yep. And you will experience great austerity and take the blame for climate change while they fire up new coal stations and fire up new nuclear reactors and dig up the earth to create cooling centers for these things and use more gigawatts than it took to take Marty and the doctor back in time in every single one of these facilities. We've got people in Australia who are saying these things are popping up everywhere. There's 43
Stargate,
just
the
in
Neo
my state,
Stargate,
right? Yeah, think like mini CERN reactors and shit. Like this
Oh,
is,
and the minnows are DARPA poison bombs.
yes. Yeah, don't eat the minnows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the real plan with all this, right?
So this is a good start seeing the policies that Trump is trying to put in place and how they connect. You remember how he was coming out and saying there is a lot of federal land that we own that we just want to start selling, and he wanted to like sell like crazy amount of land to private industries, right?
Yeah, Yellowstone is now Blackstone.
Yep.
So there is a dangerous agenda that administration is pushing, and again, conservatives are sitting there and just buying the narrative, and just being entertained with his like clown show that he's doing every day. But we have to be really paying attention because he's really ushering a lot of dark stuff if we did not pay attention to it.
Yeah, and we've seen him attach it to global conflicts too, right? Like in Ukraine, trying to get rare earth mineral deals attached to the war, right? Like trying to get Candace Owens to stop talking about the old dude that the French president's married to, and trying to get some extra rare earth minerals. Like, what are those important for? They're important for the computers and the data centers and all the electric cars and all the, all the Who and Whoville toys.
So he just signed another executive order, well, not executive initiative, called like digital initiative, or I forgot the name of the initiative. But basically what it is in collaboration with OpenAI, Microsoft, Oracle, Google, basically he want to create a centralized repository for all healthcare information and connecting all healthcare service and data records in US, with option for you to opt out if you want to, right? But basically that's what he wants, or that's the initiative, is getting those big corporations that own the same large data models we're talking about, right, to actually have access to your healthcare records. And if you remember the very first meeting or the first press release he had was that Oracle dude, when he was standing there and saying, oh, we're going to start creating mRNA vaccine that are tailored to your DNA, right? And you start connecting this whole picture together and you start seeing some really dark shit.
Yeah, exactly. And
Executive Order 420. We're going to free Maxwell. We moved her to Texas.
Yeah. Okay, some comments here. Kathleen says the tech bros want to eliminate free will. The Almighty won't let it get that far. Thanks, Kathleen. Good to see you.
Shouts out to Kathleen.
Definitely. Let's see. Digital Minefield. Maddie says, so basically a lot of the lowest paying jobs are safe. Techno feudalism is alive and well, it seems. Yeah, I noticed that too. Like there's a couple of, like some of the oil rigging and some of that stuff are decent paying jobs and good wages, but a lot of those, you're right, they're like I think there was another comment there. Let's see here. Oh, Media Bear jumps in. What's up, Media Bear? As an ambassador of the clown community, I'm here to declare our disappointment in world leaders.
Right on, Dr. Clown.
Dr. Clown, thank you for that one.
You guys are crazy. I don't know what you're thinking. You should be doing what I'm doing. I'm selling everything I own, including possibly the shirt off my back, and going all in investing on these AI big data centers. I'm going to build one myself.
Yeah,
That's where the
man.
money's at.
Yeah. We need to buy some Arctic land where we can sink some shipping containers and just
That's-
fill them full of hot servers.
I heard China's doing interesting stuff like burying it in the ground and doing stuff underwater in the ocean, all sorts of weird stuff.
They had those ships. Remember, they had those cargo ships turning into data centers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Google did that a while back.
Yep. Well, they're doing them in like Finland and all these other places now too. And I know someone that's doing it actually. They do their crypto stuff in a frozen box, basically.
I guess that's why the Bluetooth was invented by an Icelander? That's why the Bluetooth symbol is the rune, because it's Icelandic, and that's where they have the data centers. Because
how about that?
Cold. Yeah.
Well, shout out to Iceland.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's a rune.
Let's see here.
So
Karen, building on what Digital said, looks like all the safe jobs are the ones left to keep building our prison cities. Yay.
Bluetooth is named for Harold Bluetooth, the Icelandic Viking.
Okay.
That's why it's
All
called
right.
that. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here.
Grok, is that true?
Yeah. I mean, we are streaming on X. We should be able to just stop what we're doing and say that, right? And Grok.
I thought we were going to buy Greenland. I thought this was going to be part of the Greenland.
Oh, we're going to invade Greenland.
Yeah. Well, that's what my screenplay that I'm writing right now is about, called Generation, which I'll try to complete soon.
I have an idea for Musk. It will be great if you're streaming on X, that he can attach a live agent of Grok in your show, and or your and then you can actually ask a question if you want to.
I thought you said attach a live Asian.
Like Tiffany Fong.
Yep. Her jeans are yellow. Let's see here. Yeah, Ban says these data centers are popping up everywhere. They use a lot of power and water. That's right. They use a lot of water too. They also chew up residential real estate. Right. And a great way to ruin residential real estate is with progressive policies that leave them looking like Oakland does now, right? Pennies on the dollar.
And do they make a noisy hum the way I'm sure that they do, right? Because I saw this one where it was about Bitcoin miners, but I was like, holy smokes! This one building full of all these server racks just running was creating like a horrible noise pollution on the local town, and it's making people sick and shit. It's crazy, just the noise.
Yeah, that's not surprising at all. I mean, there's a Tesla joint not far from here, and we used to hear that thing thumping. They would turn the rocket engines on and off over there. It was like 20 miles away, but you could just feel the earth moving all the time. And the people that live in that town, oh boy, I'm pretty sure they had to pay them all off. I think they had to buy their silence because they were just like, you destroyed our town. Where was that comment about? Oh, there it is. Kathleen again. Different topic, but I wanted to not forget this. How about Oprah blocking egress for people from Maui due to her private road? Did you guys see that? Among the tsunami warnings. So Maui's a trip. Like there's only like one or two ways out of like the southern part of it, and you have to go like up and around the whole island, basically along the shoreline the whole way, going like north on the west side of the island. And sometimes going the other way doesn't work, like when the fire happened. But Oprah has a private road that cuts right across, so you hit high ground early, and then you come up on the other side, which is where people were trying to get because there was a freaking tsunami warning. And yeah, they had evacuation orders in effect, and her private security people were confiscating people's phones from what some people are saying. When they got turned around and told to just wait in line, like and drive up the path of the potential tsunami. So Oprah got the Great Human Award this week again. That's fun. Thanks, Kathleen, for not letting me forget that. I definitely wanted to mention that. Jake in the Discord says, as if centralizing healthcare, just like all the other initiatives the government tries to centralize, will work this time. It's a good point. What do we gain out of that, the centralization of that data? I mean, if you look at the policies, especially if you work inside of the government, anything DoD attached payroll wise, like personally, identifiable information is something that you spend many hours annually doing training on, employee training on. The importance of not distributing someone's PII is paramount, especially when it comes to health stuff. And if you even bump up against that, at least all the training I took when I worked there, was like you're screwed. You're in deep dog shit if you say publish a database accidentally, publicly email a database that has social security numbers in it, for example, or something innocent like that. Like they pound it into your head. Now imagine having all of everybody's health information in the same place and have knowing a government that knows exactly what lot number of everything you've ever taken, when, where, lot number, dosage, everything. Like, how is that good? What does that do for us? Why should that not exist the way it always has, in your hospital, in your doctor's office, and in your insurance company? They can all have their little stovepipes. But this will not end well. I guarantee you. And nobody should trust this. This is not legal advice. It's fucking life advice. Nobody should trust this after the way these governments, especially those that are involved in globalism, Western governments, behaved in 2020 and 2021. Fuck you. We're not doing it.
You should have seen the clip when Trump did the signing. He was talking about the whatever this black box technology stuff he was hinting at. They're like, oh, did you know that they can tell you what's going to be wrong with you 6 years from now? So they're doing like pre-crime on your health. So like they're going to sell this information is technically, in a way, it's kind of less dangerous in the hands of the government and far more dangerous in third party hands like insurance providers. So that it's not about what is this going to get you. It's going to be what does this not get you. They're going to be like, no soup for you, no insurance for you. We know that in 5 years you've got diabetes, buddy. We know XYZ. We know about you. And he made a joke about it too. He was saying like, I don't want to know. I don't know. I don't want to know what's going to be wrong with me. He the same way he did the like, you can wear a mask if you want to. I'm not gonna, so he's going to make everybody else do this, but he's not going to do it, right?
Yeah.
You guys sound like you don't trust the science.
How dare me and you and everybody.
Oh, the science. I don't trust the science or the computer science in this idea. I do not like it. I mean, I think about all the databases that I know for a fact that I was in that were supposed to be maintained private by corporations or employers, or places of business that were leaked, password managers. I mean, the amount of leaks, the state DA of California himself leaked the personally identifiable information of everyone that bought a gun or applied for a concealed carry permit in California for like a 25-year span. He just broke the training that I was telling you about. I'm sure state employees get the same training about releasing PII, and he gave access to Davis University to a raw database that held the address, the driver's license number, the social security number, the serial numbers for anything that they purchased at a gun store. It had all of that. And that university made that thing public. They say it was an accident, but they made it public. And I mean, that's like a criminal's delight right there. They just got a hunting map. You know, they know how old you are. They know where you are. They know what kind of shit you've got in your house, you know? So, I mean, think about all your medical records, everybody in the country is being in one place. No thanks. No thanks.
Well, it's yours. You can have access to it anytime, and to prove that it's yours, you need a digital ID.
Right? Yeah. And you can afford to be a lazy shitbird, no interest, low IQ human if there's going to be UBI, right? So we'll have this UBI class of people who can afford the VR glasses and their, you know,
I
monster
love
drinks.
UB40. Oh, wait, you said UBI. Never mind.
Yeah. Ooh, there's a sad COVIDian story when it comes to UB40. I'll save that for another time. Too depressing. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Not a good idea. And I'm sure that's just one little gem inside that initiative, right, Pharaoh? I'm sure there's lots of other fun stuff in there we could pick out. All right. Tell you what, I'm gonna put Full of Bull in the wait, no, how do I just put him backstage? There we go. He's backstage. Mark, if you want to come back, type to me in the private chat and I'll bring you back in. So I'm glad there was no bad tsunamis. That could have been worse. That earthquake sounds absolutely terrifying, and 8.8 is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was rather large. And then, of course, there was a bunch of talk going around about people. Was this created? Was this a man-made, like an intentional, weaponized earthquake kind of thing? So, yeah.
Right. Awake Jake reminded me, Hesher, the government has AI to process all that data, though. Yep, it's true. It's true. That's what the Palantir's for, right? Processing. Okay, what else do we got, you guys? I think I'm spent. I don't have anything else on my list. Ruckus, did I forget anything boiler room worthy?
That's a tricky question, isn't it?
It always is. We could always go, forever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, to be honest with you, it seemed like a semi-slow news week in a way, but I think we covered all the big news. I thought I had some thoughts about AI, but I'd have to ask ChatGPT or Grok first, if I do. Just kidding. The thing is that I was doing some research lately for local SEO, search engine optimization. So I had to refresh about, regular old SEO, and then I got into learning about local SEO. And along the way, I found out, well, how all that's changing real soon because of AI. Of course, they were Infidel Pharaoh or Mystical Pharaoh was saying something about the fact that they're forcing this on people, in particular through the employers. So the employers at some point have been pressured into needing this stuff, thinking they need it, or maybe they have no choice. It's been installed on everybody's phones and computers now and all that fun stuff, right? So you can't get away from it, right? It's very difficult now. The thing is, they're changing the game for local business. I'm seeing how already it's going to be negatively detrimental. So even if these local businesses adopt the AI agents and do whatever and try to survive and adapt and whatever, they're still going to have trouble because the way that they're doing the local search results are going to be, it's all going to be just the little summaries that you get. You guys are already experiencing this right now when you look for anything. 90% of the time now, I'm guessing that you see like a little AI summary show up, right? And then it shows you some results. If you even go that far, usually you get your answer right away without even going there anymore. So this is clearly hurting search rankings and people visiting websites and all of this stuff. And it's what Mystical Pharaoh was talking about now. All of the the controlled narrative, one source, centralized information is what's going to be fed up in those top results, right? So clearly, if only the sanctified New York Times or the Associated Press, they're the only ones allowed to give out the information. If people aren't even going to go further down to find like the independent journalist reporting or 21 Wire or anything or anybody or us or do nothing, they're just going to get the AI summary, right? So now there's like these new tricks and ways to actually rank with the your website with the SEO, and it has like less to do with what's actually on your website as far as like how it visually looks for a human. And now you're worried more about like all of the keyword rich stuff, like you always have to be like for search engine optimization, SEO. But now there's like a little code. You have to actually write hidden code that a human being doesn't see, but now robots see it. And now that's what the AI summarizer goes to and sees first before it even sees your website. So pretty soon, people who make websites, which are probably going to be made by AI anyways, aren't even going to be making websites for human beings. They're going to make websites for robots, if that makes sense. And this seriously affects the local business people because they would have to compete to show up on the Google Maps. That's what I'm learning to try to do right now to help a local business show up on the maps, right? Like when you say local whatever business near me and Siri or Google says, here you go, and it shows on the maps, right? And it's like, and then they got 23 reviews, 4.5 stars or whatever, right? And then you get to see the reviews and their photos and shit, right? I think all that's going away. I think now they're just going to be fed whatever the AI wants to feed them. So how's that going to work? Are the businesses going to be based on some sort of social credit score or their social carbon footprint? What's going to help them rank? What gets the answer to be in the AI's summary instead of going on the Google Maps? You know what I mean? So who knows? The future does not look bright for anybody because of this AI shit.
And we already have a huge problem with people only reading headlines, right? That's kind of been an ongoing theme inside of the Boiler Room. It's like not only do people not read to the bottom of the article and think about the sources and then watch all the, talking heads talk about it and with a critical eye, but they just read the title. So like now all those people are going to graduate to just reading the AI summary, and the AI summary is brilliant. I'll give them that, and it's useful sometimes. But my goodness, it's just like talk about we talk about globalization so much and think about it as like something that affects us financially and I don't know, affects our sovereignty and all these other things, our culture. But like, what about the globalization of the data, the globalization of the internet? This is like the death of the internet. This is the death of the wild west free ish internet that we had up until 2015. So I don't know, man. It's pretty freaky to think about the information sphere and how it's going to get super ubiquitous. Probably. I mean, it already is, but I mean, at least it's mostly man-made stupidity. Ay. Yeah. So, and that's a great example of, why some of those first positions in that list of 40 there, web developers, was right there in
And
it.
they're when they're doing these things, and the agents too, it's not just that it's relying on an LLM that might be woke or controlled, whatever. But the thing is, it's like it's doing it from a limited pool of resources out there online. So they can find, okay, if I'm an AI agent and I want to build a website, I teach myself how to build a website as the AI LLM the same way a human would, except Matrix Keanu Reeves style. It goes and reads the entire internet, what's available, everything that's out there, which was up until a certain point exclusively created by humans, right? But it wasn't very long before a lot of the content that's available online was written by AI. So, like, how long before we get to that whole AI slop feedback loop where there's zero input coming anymore humans. And I thought I had heard something from one of these people, probably from all of them, Elon Musk, Sam Altman, or whatever, saying that we're going to run that we're the AI data, the information coming from humans for AI is starting to run dry. And I'm like, well, now what? What does that mean? Like, shit.
Yeah, it's got all the math and all the science and all the history and all the culture.
They're all going to sound the same. That's my point. Like, so anytime I have experimented with AI for like any, business related things, like if you're trying to get this one to recommend XYZ, okay, like, so give me a business tagline for this business, and I get this one from Microsoft, I get this one from Grok, I get this one from the other one, what's Gemini or whatever, right? They all sound the same, stupid, like what you would like, just what the heck, it's the same crap coming from all these various programs, no human or thought involved whatsoever, and it's just spitting back the same thing, and it's crawling around and just like copying what everybody else already has. And I'm like, well, dude, how do you stand apart? How are you different? How come every burger joint in Chicago has the same tagline? Our burgers are great. Our burgers are great. How come everybody says our burgers are great? Well, that's what ChatGPT said to make their tagline. So it's going to get boring real soon and very uniform.
Well, that's how you end up with killing everything that is creative around you, and you end up in idiocracy, right? Because everything, you have a bunch of dumb humans, and all of them are reading the same headlines, and they're laughing about it.
Yeah, blob society sounds lame. Oh, there's we got Full of Bull back with us. Mark, are you there?
Yeah, I can't be much longer. Some matters came up, but sorry, I've been out of the loop. What did you guys get into? I don't know if I can offer any wisdom. I doubt it.
We cracked the meaning of life. We fixed we destroyed the mass media cartel. They're gone. You'll turn your TV on and only find Boiler Room and alternate current radio. Yeah, I think we've solved all the problems.
Wow. I don't know how much time went by. Maybe I went into a time warp. And
well, we did that too. We invented a time machine.
Oh, that's right.
You guys are the best.
We've gone back and righted all the wrongs. Your taxes have all been returned to you. Your deed has been burned. Everything is golden, man.
I like it. Having an upbeat attitude is important,
Yes.
Because we're good enough and smart enough, and gosh darn it, people like us.
People like it.
That's right. Well, Mark, one quick thing you could weigh in on. Kathleen mentioned Oprah Winfrey was not letting people in Maui use her private road to get away from the tsunami warning, and had so far as reports coming in that her private security team were seizing people's phones that were trying to, I assume, film them being turned around and told to go back toward the tsunami, because you have to go all the way up the northwest side of the island and hook back around to get away from the tsunami warning. And everybody in Maui had to evacuate, and they could have done it much quicker if Oprah would have let them through. So, and then Stitch Beetle, what's up? She came in and said Oprah Winfrey doesn't want her road used, and she isn't even on the island when this stuff goes on. So she wasn't even there, and she had her security team block the island and put people in danger. What do you think, Full of Bull?
I guess when I see that kind of arrogance, that kind of audacity, I'm almost speechless. I mean, it speaks way more volumes than I could ever speak right now in what these people think of the rest of us. I mean, if she was ever a Christian person, I'd like to see her at the pearly gates talking to the big man and explaining this one.
This may be the least of the things she has to explain to the big man. She's friends with John of God. She's friends with Weinstein. She's friends with
She's
Epstein.
totally psychotic.
She's from all we can see, like this is someone who's not even going to get the opportunity to be standing at those gates. Not looking to either. Probably heading the other way on purpose.
A legend in her own mind, no doubt. Yeah. what can you say? I mean, there's narcissism, and then there's something that's even beyond narcissism that isn't even defined yet.
Yeah.
Oprah Winfrey, more like Oprah lose free. Okay.
I have one quick thing, Hesher, if you want to just hit it lightly, because you did hint you might have something further about this in the near future. But the set the thing on the desk thing.
Oh, yeah. Mark, you might be interested in this. If you may have missed this. 2 weeks ago, Sunday, I guess almost 3 weeks ago now, an airman at, I can't remember the name of the base, was on duty. I think he was a IT security or something like that. Walked in the office, took his holster off with a quick release, common quick release, set the holster down on the table, and his gun went off and hit him in the chest and killed him immediately. And it was a Sig Sauer P320. It was a specific model. And the company is they have a long heritage. They've been around forever. They have government contracts. They provide the entire service pistol for all 4 services, and others. And these things have been going off. Uncommanded discharge is what it's being referred to quite often. And the company is fighting back and saying, no, it's not our product. But people online are demonstrating that they can reproduce this now. Here, I'll show you real quick an example. This is pretty short.
For those who don't know, this particular model does have a reputation, let's say, for doing such a thing when it's dropped.
Yes.
Before all this.
Yeah, the company Sig Sauer, they have had to clear, I think, they've had to settle 12 cases, and there's like over 100 other cases. And there was video footage that just came out a couple weeks back on Ben Stoker's channel and others of a guy adjusting his holster that was carrying in the appendix location, and it went off and it shot off one of his testicles.
Good Lord.
Yeah, so this kind of stuff has been going on, and the company's saying not our fault. But watch this. This is who is this guy? I forget his name. This is One Shot TV, trying to see if he can do this with his pistol.
It's an old, original Gen 1 P320. And I think it was one of the ones that was recalled for a new trigger, and it's never been sent back. So this thing's double dangerous. We're going to see if we can get it to go off. I'm going to try to do it just like Wyoming Gun Project, replicate his test exactly. We do have a primed shell casing in the magazine here. You can see there's no projectile, no gunpowder, just a primer on that 9mm shell casing. It's going in the Sig P320. And we had a malfunction. That's what I expected. All right. That primed shell casing is chambered in the Sig P320. And he used a screw. I'm going to use this little red thing and put this in the trigger. I mean, you can see how small that is. It's probably less than a millimeter. I really don't know. But we're just going to put it in that little gap in front of the trigger, just basically to get it to the wall, so you guys know that I'm not, adding any more pressure with my finger. God forbid if it does go off. So I am actually going to put on ear pro for this because I don't know how loud this primer is going to be, and I'm in a little bitty room. So let's see if we can get this thing inside our pistol. All right, I've got our little piece of plastic wedged in the trigger right there. It's basically just pressed to the wall. I'm going to move the slide, and we'll see if it goes off. Okay, I'm going to set this down.
I'll stop it there, but not. Yeah, this is catastrophic for this company, I think, and they are basically gaslighting. It seems as though they're gaslighting the world about the causes of this stuff. So, Adam and I have been talking about this for a long time, and we have a friend who is a armorer and engineer, basically a firearms engineer. So he may come on and talk to us about this next week or shortly thereafter. And if you out there watching are interested in this, we're going to try to go into great detail with it. So we're going to have drawings and calls to Sig and stuff like that to discuss. But it's really interesting, Mark, because there are many, many, many people in our military and police forces that have to have that gun strapped to their body by policy. You know, it's their only option. And that guy's family has no recourse. You know what I mean? They can't sue the military. You can't sue the military over something like that. So
what's the model number of the gun again? What's the make and model one more time?
it's a Sig Sauer P320.
Sig Sauer P320. Okay, this is all new. That taxpayers would buy those guns for military and police, and they would have that level of self danger. And it would also make it more difficult to use them correctly because you're trying to apprehend or stop a criminal, and the gun goes off, let's say, before you intended it to go off, which might tip off the suspect and he gets away.
Or it could go off in your holster while you're wrestling with a suspect who's fighting you, you know, and it could hit you or someone else, an innocent bystander, you know. And it's like you make a good point about our tax dollars. Like the contract that Sig Sauer won for the military is huge. It's massive. There are so many. These things have been in circulation since like 2015. So there's more than a decade of them being out there. And the Air Force, they had to just say no more for now.
They call them what, the M17 and the M18s, right?
Yeah, that's the military model, M17 and M18. So it's a mess, man. It is an absolute mess. And SIG has the kind of reputation where they could recover from this if they would be honest about it and fix it. But instead, they're saying, you know, we didn't do it. That's that guy's fault that he's dead, basically, or a terrible accident, or the holster maker's fault. And, you know, to their credit, these are open investigations that it's hard to get public information about. But the cases that they've had to settle and the videos of this stuff happening just keep happening. So we're going to break it down.
It makes you wonder if a competitor might start lurking in the background. Well, you know, SIG can't last forever. Let's get this contract, right?
Well, you know, arguably, a lot of people would argue that Beretta or Glock should have gotten that contract and that SIG should have never been cleared for it, and that there might be something worth investigating, like in the procurement and signing of these contracts. You know, was there some back scratching going on there, perhaps, or some shady work, or, you know, were safety checks not complete for some reason?
Well, that if something's that lucrative, you could have some sort of skullduggery or foul play somewhere along the line, sooner or later.
Yeah, and people
Karen asks the good tinfoil hat question right there.
You know, I've put my tinfoil hat on and wondered that too. It's almost like, are you doing this on purpose? Because what they've done, and there's memes about this going around, are what they've done. You know, one of the big arguments when you're arguing with someone who was pro gun control used to be guns don't kill people, people kill people, or, you know, guns themselves don't kill people. Well, the negligence that Sig Sauer has apparently shown with this product has now flipped that, what used to be a fact, on its end, and that has done great damage to people's, you know, confidence in a firearm. And people don't really think, I don't know that most people think about this, but polymer guns with striker fires, you know, an internal trigger, are relatively new. They're really a pretty new technology. And the SIG P320, like Glock, is one thing. Like, that is an engineering feat, and no tool like that is ever going to be 100% safe. But a lot of these are sort of new things, and old school guns don't have this problem at all. This is specific to a relatively new on the timeline of these, the invention of firearms
So
thing.
therefore they could say, well, in a way, guns do kill people.
That's the problem. They've created a situation where folks can now say that.
And or they can try to persuade through force to convert everybody back to the old revolvers
or something new, like a smart gun, right?
Okay. Technology usually wins.
Yeah. There is a bit of conspiracy going around about the new generation of Glocks coming out, because there's a patent that's been released and it shows like a battery compartment or some sort of powered. There's something in there that have people going, wait a minute, is this going to be like, is there going to be electronics in this gun? Like, what does that mean? Is it going to have a fingerprint reader or something like that? Yeah. So who knows?
Ron Avery and I have had a discussion. Oh, there's all these different gun makers. Is it actually true that all the gun makers are pro Second Amendment, or do they just want to arm the state?
I would say that there are some gun makers who just are about the bottom line. This is just my opinion. The guy that we're going to have on next week would be able to answer that question probably really well, because he's worked for some of those companies and with them. But it seems to me like some companies just don't care about civilian market or what happens in the civilian legal realm as much as they do money, and they're able to get government contracts, and for them it's just sort of a non-issue because that's where their money comes from. Like Knight's Armament, for example. Like, you can't get a Knight's Armament rifle anymore as a civilian, and if you can, it's going to be $4,000, $5,000 for something. You could build one for $800 that would be just as good, but that company, you can't get their stuff because it all goes to foreign militaries, NATO forces, and our military, and they just don't care. But then there's a lot of smaller companies that really do care, that really have an ethos of, hey, this is we cater to the civilian market. And then you have the hybrid ones that make the big contracts, but they are also able to have an output that caters to the civilian market. So it's kind of all of those, all yes and no and maybe.
That's very interesting. Yeah, because if their sole or major purpose is just to arm the state, remember, gun controls for privateers, for private citizens. The state shall have no control over its use of lethal force, no controls whatsoever. That's how you know the gun control arguments are hollow, because the guns of the state cannot be silenced, they cannot be controlled, and the only armaments you'd want to control would be statist or state arms, which includes arsenals of missiles and gravity bombs and cruise missiles and Hellfire missiles. Those are the ones you want to control in terms of illicit trade. It's not the civilian firearm, it's the arms of the state. If you want controls, that's where the controls should go. And so if any company that solely or mainly caters to the state would be a little suspect, but I'm glad that there's a mixed bag out there where you can find these companies that do care about the Second Amendment. So
those are the ones to support for sure. And as far as like the government or the powers that be using SIG as a scapegoat to like disarm people because guns aren't safe, like that, I could see idiots saying that. I could definitely see people saying that, but that's the most ridiculous argument I could think of. It's like, so a company builds something that isn't safe, people get hurt, so you're going to take away, you know what I mean? That's like someone's Peloton, Mike Tyson's Peloton killed his kid, right? So the government is going to ban treadmills. You know what I mean? It's like, no, a company did that. A company's negligence and poor design did that, and there's a legal system to deal with them that does not involve taking away a constitutional right blanketly across the nation. That's sorry.
GPT says that Colt and Sig Sauer are not state-owned, but rely so heavily on government contracts and R&D and product lines that they're shaped around state needs, and that some that are like Glock, Smith & Wesson, Ruger, Beretta, those are the 4 of the U.S. companies, or Glock is Austrian, but the other 3 are U.S., are mainly designed for a civilian market. So that kind of answers your question, I think.
Yeah.
Sig
Those are
Sauer
good
was
points,
the
Mark.
summer sacrifice. SSSS.
Yeah,
That's right.
dude.
That's right.
But there's probably no stopping the media cartel from still trying to make hay of it. Look, the firearm itself is the problem.
They've been pretty quiet about it, actually, and I think that's probably because they ultimately serve the government. They have so many military contracts that, like, that whatever buffer they have in the media seems to be working in their favor.
I get
At
their
least-
emails, Hester. Remember, I sent you the one,
Yeah.
the only one that I got with their that addressed it, but everything else is like, "Hey, we got a sale on our T-shirts." So it's like they're just like nothing happened.
Yep. No, they swear that it will not go off without the user pressing the trigger or the trigger being pressed inside of the holster or whatever. But we've got videos of that happening. We've got a guy who's missing a nut. We've got a guy who's missing his life and a family that misses him, who's going to support them now. They can't sue the military. That's, an active service member with a issued weapon. This is absolutely insane.
The Sig Sauer P320 has safety, right?
The M18 and the M17 do, but it's rare to find one on a civilian model on a P320.
That's insane not to have a safety at any rate.
And our friend that may come on, he's identified like 3 or 4 different ways in which it can fire uncommanded. And a couple, at least one of them, can happen with the safety on, because there's a set of pivoting springs and bars basically that interact, and they create a pivot point. And there's this little piece that juts down, and it has the ability to drop the striker safety, which can make what we just saw happen.
That's no good.
That's terrible design,
It is.
And
we
for
should
them to
send them to the IDF because they're not allowed to keep one in the chamber anyway, right?
Yeah, right. That's what I was thinking, man. Carry it Israeli style. Yeah. All right. Well, let's wind it down. I'm gonna go around the room here. I'm gonna go to Bazed first. Bazed, saved rounds, final thoughts. Anything you want to throw out there? Any comments on what we just talked about?
Yeah, good show, guys. Nothing much. It's been a great summer. I did make my way through both the Shanksville, Pennsylvania Big 9 site and East Palestine, Ohio. We talked a lot about that back in the day. We drove right through East Palestine. So I checked to see if there was still a toxic airborne event. But it's been a good summer. And again, you can check out my YouTube, look in the community tab for my top 50 movies of the 21st century. Also, a bunch of things coming up. I'll be at the Jay and Jamie event in early September, and I'm teaching a film class right now that's going well. Please check out my YouTube and look at my recent movie analysis, and also a bunch of book analysis coming up. So.
All right. Excellent. Thanks for being here tonight, man. And we'll see you again real soon. There goes Baselit Analyzer. Mark, over to you. Saved rounds, final thoughts.
I believe this summer is the 3-year anniversary of whoever did it, the destruction of the Georgia Guidestones.
Oh, yep.
Whether it was done by good people or bad people who are shifting gears, it's just good to see them gone. None of this 500 million people worldwide, which would mean culling like 8/10 of the people. We want to see none of that. I'm just saying good riddance to the Georgia Guidestones, whether it was done for the right reason, wrong reason. I just wanted them gone, and they're gone. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. It would have been. I think it would have been nice, Mark, if we could have had like a killdozer moment. We needed like a pissed off citizen in a tractor that's been fortified to knock that thing down publicly. I didn't like the stealthy like bringing up of it and taking down of it. I want to know the information. It would have been great to see it killdozered, but oh well.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Twin Towers. You know, the construction of the Twin Towers is almost as suspicious as the destruction. A lot of very strange things went on when those things were built, including the way the Rockefellers and the Port Authority, the way they had no vote by any public body, and they still made the taxpayers pay for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely pure Rockefeller all the way.
What year was that? What year did they start that?
Well, late 60s. They finished them in the early 70s. I don't have all the years absolutely nailed down. But the story of that whole thing of the planning and construction of those things is just fraught with, big city politics and Tammany Hall kind of stories, and
Yeah,
the whole nine. But it was pure Rockefeller, public liability, private profit, 100% Rockefeller.
Shrewd, very shrewd.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
All right, Mark. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you dropping in. There goes Mark Anderson. You can find him at thetruthhound.com, and you can find him at Republic Broadcast Network doing Stop the Presses on Wednesdays. Mystical Pharaoh, over to you. Any saved rounds, final thoughts? And by the way, if anyone missed the beginning of the show, it is Alternate Current Radio's 11th birthday. I want to give a special shout out to Badger and Spore. Couldn't have made this thing last this long without Badger and Spore and a lot of other people. That goes for you two gentlemen here as well. Mystical Pharaoh, over to you, man. Saved rounds, final thoughts.
Thanks for having me, man. Good show as usual. And I'm looking forward to be with you guys next week. And happy birthday, ACR.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks. Have a great rest of the weekend. There goes Mystical Pharaoh. Ruckus, over to you, man.
Cool. Yeah, no, happy birthday. That's really cool, man. I had my birthday recently.
Yeah.
11 years. A lot of birthdays happening around the same time. I wonder why that is. Oh, yeah, I guess because of the timing of the way things work with biology and stuff. If you know what I mean. That's so funny. So let's see here. Are we going to do the music thing?
Yeah. Can you stream it on your end? Can you stream your side?
I can sure try.
Right.
So I'll do mine and then you'll do yours right after mine, or what?
Yeah, probably. So we'll do
okay, so for the night owls, we're gonna party hardy because it's the birthdays, right? It's our birthday, so we're gonna play some music. I'm gonna do my skate punk mix for you guys, and then Hessian session afterwards. So it's gonna be fun. Come hang out with us in the chat. You can join the Discord server. That's where we drop the GIFs, not gifts or whatever it's called. I don't know. Have a good time. So we'll be thrashing it in there. And then you can find the music at Mixcloud. There's links for that on our website for both those things. Thanks for having me, Hesher. It's been a blast. Cool little fun. Welcome back to the clown news world garbage again, right?
Yep.
Yay! And it's a shame about the Sig. I happen to be a Sig owner, but not that particular model. But the one that I own is very similar, uses a very similar firing mechanism. So got to be careful. Thanks again. See you guys on the other side for the music. In the meantime, God bless each and every one of you. May God save this republic. Ruckus, skating on out.
All right. Thanks, Ruckus. Thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate you watching the show or listening to the show. We'll get the audio pod up as soon as possible. Join us for Sunday Wire tomorrow. Let's see. I just got a message from Patrick. Okay. Yeah. Looks like we're all set for Sunday Wire. So do join us for Sunday Wire. That starts at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern, 5 p.m. UK time. We'll see you there. And that is it. I'm going to just hit the button and hope I have it set for the right dude. Hey!
That's
I do.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.